So we jump to our 2 o'clock to 2:45 p.m. session, and it's the Chief Women Conversations. So this one, they are talking about resilience for building a successful career for women in the film industry. And for this one, we'll have someone very special. Oh, there's nothing special again because you guys have seen her. So let me not even go and show myself. So please welcome Ruth Kadiri and Ijoma for this session. A hand of applause for them, please. Thank you.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And it's good to be back here again. Please, can we get a mic for Ruth, please? There's a mic right beside you. Okay. All right.
Check.
So every year at Nifs, we recognize camera people. Please let our people see. Yeah. Thank you. So every year at Nifs, for the past 3 years, I believe, we have recognized consistently women in in the film and TV industry who have actually built a career and what we successful careers, I mean. And what we're trying to do is to continue to spotlight what they've been able to do and achieve despite challenges that women face. Yesterday, we listened to women in arts, Biodu and Brenda. We talked about stereotyping and a whole lot of challenges that women in film actually go through. And today we have an Amazon with us. I'm sure she's not new to any one of us here. Ruth Kadiri, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday we spoke with Moriah from the TV, from Your View. She's assigning out this week as well on the view. And Moriah, so every year we do two women looking at different backgrounds, television, film. Excuse me. And so it's such a delight to have you here, Ruth. Thank you so much for joining us this year at NIFS. It's been a roller coaster. It's been so much happening, a lot of conversations, and I know that a lot of people are also looking forward to hearing you speak and your personal journey and your resilience. Because I believe that seated in this audience, there are a lot of potential root cadres sitting here, people who you getting to do what you've done, you've achieved is very aspirational for them. So it will also be nice for you to just give us a glimpse into how you started and your journey so far, how you started, your journey so far, and where you are currently.
Thank you so much for having me here. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I'm used to speaking and sitting before people, but it's different because everybody here, my colleagues and my friends. What am I going to be teaching people that are already? Okay. Okay. So, what's the question?
So the question is, how did Ruth Kadiri get into YouTube? Let me just simplify it for you. You've been acting, but you've become one of the major forces. I saw recently a spotlight of Google that Google did recently on you. And I mean, there's so many people, tons of creators on YouTube, but why would they want to spotlight you? So how did you get into this space and now become a dominant force? Last year also YouTube also recognized you, right? And there are a lot of people who would actually want to start doing those kind of things. Maybe there are baby steps you took, maybe there are things, little beginnings. So it would just be good to let every one of us here know how you got into that space, and perhaps also for tell us a bit about the challenges you faced and how you were able to, overcome them to get to where you are right now.
Okay. First of all, as creators, there is a fundamental need for us to understand that it is very important for every single person to have access to what we create. We're not artists, painters who put a certain price tag on our work. It's like musicians saying that I'm only going to sing to a certain people. If you live in Ajegunle, you can't sing my song. You are suddenly limiting your creativity. I've been in the industry for a long time, and I started out as a writer behind the scenes. So, some of the
Interesting.
movies that were produced in Ghana industry, I wrote them.
Really?
Yeah, and then some movies in Nigeria that were like really hits and stuff like
Can you
that.
tell some?
Yeah, one of them, I think, Heart of a Fighter with Ramsey Noah and Mercy Johnson. That one was like, okay, so then how they used to quantify or
Yeah,
qualify
yeah,
success is
yes.
how many copies of
VCD.
you sold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that one was greatly successful. So I started as a writer behind the scenes, and that was my own way of getting access to the industry
I
because
see.
it was
Access.
dominated by men at
I
that
was going to
time.
say that.
Yes, it
Yes.
was dominated by men, and they're not playing, But seeing that I was a writer, it kind of made things easy. I would literally negotiate my role at that time, and knowing that most of the scripts that I wrote then were hits, it was not difficult for me. They'd be like, okay, I'm going to put Nadia Buhari and Jackie. Write yourself somewhere there.
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So I started to cater for myself earlier on, and we're
Can you say
here.
that for yourself? What does that mean?
Like I didn't have to do so many crazy things to get roles and
Okay.
jobs. I
Okay.
was able to carve a niche for myself at that time and get my own small food on the table, and I was very satisfied. In fact, I was just too happy that my scripts were being produced. Now, being behind the scene, you also start understanding life from a different perspective. There's some actors that can't relate with some of the struggles of crew members, and some crew members can't relate with some of the struggles of actors.
Oh, you've
I,
seen
I
both.
understand both worlds. Do you understand? So I also know that we got to a point in the industry. I don't know if it was ego, I don't know what it was, but there was just segmentalization. Everybody wanted to feel superior to the other creators. So he would say, I'm creating content for we are new Nollywood and we are old Nollywood, and which is not bad if you're doing something different. But my head, I always say, do we have to lose one for the other? No. Do we have to lose old Nollywood for the other? And to me, the answer is no. If I wake up today and I hear that there's a demand for film in the sky, like those little drops of water, people are watching it, I will create it. I don't care what level, wherever you try to put me in your head. So if there is a need, I will create it. So when I traveled and I saw that a lot of people were watching YouTube, okay, so I traveled and we're used to watching DSTV and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
when I travel, I'm so busy, but it was the first time since I was having a baby, I didn't have work. So I realized that a lot of people abroad, they always talk about Netflix, but in reality, what they watch is not Netflix because people are busy working, and by the time they get back home, they're tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes they don't renew the subscription because they're busy. But YouTube is free. Data you pay for monthly. And so I'm forced to watch a lot of P Square movies, music, and love Wizkid song. And I'm like, why can't we create movies here and put for these people? So they showed me a friend of mine. To me, there are people that are doing movies. Some people were already making movies
Mm-hmm.
at that time, but it wasn't it wasn't like it didn't have that kind of crowd of a lot of
Yeah.
people were watching, but so when I came, I wanted something different, so I started with trying to design a type of poster to make my films unique.
Okay.
And I remember talking to some of my colleagues that I met there already, and they're like, No, 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 no. We don't need to put poster. They are going to watch it regardless. I wanted something different. I tried to create the things that I felt were going to make the movies look better, which is what I did, and started slowly
I see.
and started to grow, and it just kicked off.
Okay. Today your channel has 3.29 million subscribers, 3,290,000 subscribers, I believe, on YouTube. And how long did it get you to become one of the biggest YouTube creators in Nigeria? To get to this point, how long did it
Okay,
take
I
you?
think we started in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, 2021 organically, yes.
Okay. And what are the, apart from creating your posters and trying to make it look differently, what is your portfolio looking like right now in terms of movies that you have to your credit?
I don't know. I don't count.
Wow.
So I understand that like I said, I have a market. Pastors go to church and preach every Sunday. They have their audience, and I have my audience, and they need to watch content that we make people's day. I know people don't understand because they are just here, and because Nigerians are their attention span is like so short. They are restless. They're easily excited. But there are people whose reality is wake up in the morning, go to work, come back. If they have a boyfriend, they talk. If they don't, they call somebody in Nigeria and stay for 4 hours. Like they are depending on me
I see.
to watch something
I
to make
see.
their day. And I understand and I will create content for them. So I'm not counting. As long that there's a Thursday, we're gonna keep making people's day.
Oh wow. So so let's do the maths. 2021, every Thursday, that's 52 a week. So between 2021 and 2025, that's 4 years. So 52 times 4. Please, someone help me. 200 and 208 titles. Please, can we just celebrate? This is this is super, super amazing. This is super, super amazing. And speaking about women, when you started 15 plus years ago, when I started taking producers out to international markets, it was also all guys. I think I have one or two of them here in this room that used to go to this cup. You've gone to this cup. Please, can you just say hi? You see? I call them the first generation. And then they're just four of them. And these guys, we have, you can see it's all guys, right? So if I'm taking 50 producers, I know at some points, when we went to Ghana, we've gone to Kenya and, different African countries because it was moving. I'm not sure the women, if I had 50 producers on that trip, I'm not sure we had 5 women. Yeah. And I know that is changing, but when you started, the barriers were a lot. How were you able to navigate, either as a writer that paved way for you, that gave you access, and then becoming an actress, and now becoming a media mogul in this industry? I hope my questions are not, they are not
No, no, no.
too
It's good. It's okay. Yeah, like I started when it was the industry was controlled
by
by
men.
men.
Yes.
But I kind of think that, and not just men, Igbos.
Okay.
So, because
Okay.
Igbos. So sometimes,
Yeah, what are the earliest barriers that
yeah.
and are they still there today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. There's more civilization, there are more opportunities, and people are beginning to take it. I don't know if they're not there anymore because I don't think you can completely erase it, but things are better.
Okay.
I remember somebody was like, "Where are you from?" Well, Kiafagi. I'm like, "My name is Ruth Kadiri." Say, she's not an Igbo girl now. They don't say, she's an Igbo girl now. Kadiri. Is it not Kadiri? Yes. And I didn't know how to drive. But it was either were you an Igbo girl or not. And but truthfully, the
Were you
Igbos kind of
supposed to make Igbo films at the time?
no,
Okay.
no. But
Okay.
I don't know. The factor that tribalism is something
So
in
yeah.
Nigeria.
Okay.
We don't talk
Yes.
about that as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
But
Yes.
also, truthfully, Igbos have also really favored me. But Igbo people are very business minded. So
Okay.
I think the reason they favored me is because they also realized that when Ruth writes, the movies do well. So they start no. So they start taking my where I'm from off the table slowly.
Okay.
And I think when an Igbo person sees you as an asset,
They don't care.
yes, you become very treated very, very well. So in that regards, I have sexual harassment, not really.
For you.
Yeah, because I didn't come on the field like I want to act. I started writing. So that, like I said, that gave me an edge.
And
But
when you transited to acting, what was it like?
okay, so I've never really looked for approval from people or anyone like that. So
Okay.
you can't be telling me you want to sleep with me. Do I even want to act? Oh, I don't know. Pressure will come when you're desperate for something. And I've never put myself in that situation.
Can you talk to this audience about being desperate and what it can do and how they can actually avoid
Uh-oh.
that? Because a lot of young women who are here listening to you, and I think you can do them a thing or two by just, letting them know, listen, this is the
About,
path. Yes. About not being desperate and, how you were also able to have
yeah,
enough confidence in yourself
yourself,
to
right?
be able to navigate that hurdle because it's there. It's there.
Yes. I think it's also an individual thing. Because as much as I don't think that anybody would say the pressures they had in the industry as at 10, 15 years ago is the same kind of pressure that they are facing now. That's not true. you know I do things for people. I don't even know your son name. I give people lead roles and I'm like, yeah, what's your name again? So I'm sure there are a lot of female producers who don't want to sleep with you. So if you're good and if they like you, they will give you the roles. So, but you can't stop pushing because there's a thin line between pushing for your goals and being utterly desperate for it. And in desperation, sometimes some of these girls hustle these men. They hustle me too.
Really?
Yeah, they do. So some of these girls, they also hustle the men. So, but there's so much more that you can choose from. If you're texting Ruth Kadri, she's not listening. You can go to a Biodun's TV. You can go. There's so many female filmmakers out there that can make your dreams come true. And I also think in 2025, in where my headspace is right now, I feel like success is you can choose your success. You can make your life what you want it to be. You have the knife, you have the yam, you have everything at your disposal. There's social media. If you're most creatives right now can become successful. Nobody really has it figured out, but people look like they do.
All right. People look like they do. We've been speaking a lot here about distribution,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's, the industry have gotten to to a stage where it's either a lot of producers evolve
yeah,
or they will go and start looking for something else to do.
yeah.
Most of the people I started with, almost 2 decades ago, if I was to do this event, then this room would be full, but I'm just seeing four of them. And the
Yeah.
question is, where are the rest? Right? So, and that is because at every point in time, things happen that change the trajectory, the dynamics of the industry, and then people have to just have to weigh their options and what do I do. So with what has happened recently, I'm not quite sure how you played in the streaming OTT in the SVOD space, right? But how will you see what is happening? I mean, I think you cannot be bothered
No,
whether
that's not true.
Netflix.
That's not true.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
tell you what.
Yes, tell me.
I'm not broke. No, I never was broke.
Okay.
Not that I couldn't afford to produce a film for Netflix. It was a choice. I
Why did
remember,
you make that choice not to?
yes, because the kind of person that I am, I don't like to be at people's mercy. And I don't know how to hustle. the way people want me to hustle. I don't like to play dirty. There's a way my mind works, and understanding myself, I could go produce the movie and hustle my way out. There's a type of success I will get. I won't be happy. I'll make it, but I won't be happy. I don't know if you understand me. So, because I remember sitting down with a team member, and he's like, "Okay, Ruth, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that, let's produce this big budget movie and all." They gave me a budget. I'm like, "Okay, that's fair." We went ahead, we wrote the script, big names. We called a couple of people, big names. I do have a good relationship with a lot of filmmakers in the industry. But I said, okay, can you give me a while? Let me see if I can push this channel to a point. Because I didn't know that something was going to happen, but that was the statement I made.
Oh, wow.
If something happens to Netflix or they wake up and say, you this route, you don't like your face, which was the excuse I gave, we're not going to buy your films anymore, what's going to happen to me? So I wanted to create something or build something that was mine.
Okay.
Then I'll now not have work. Then I'll now produce for Netflix
Okay.
without the pressure.
I see.
But sadly, they have gone.
And so you are the woman that saw tomorrow.
Kind of.
Okay. Okay. And, which takes me to my next question. I don't know if you're ready for this, but if YouTube shuts down tomorrow,
Yeah.
what's the plan?
Okay. So I've not gone to the cinema.
Never.
No, never.
Okay.
But personally, I already have strategies. The beauty about laying out your cards is when you're doing it when you're not under pressure. Sometimes I wonder why the cinema people have not thought about it. So what are you guys doing?
Okay.
It's still segregation. If you understand that every single ant is a market, you think differently. Because I'm thinking, I already have 5 strategies
Of how to survive.
that does not
How to
concern
survive
YouTube.
YouTube.
It does not concern YouTube.
How to evolve post YouTube, just
you
in case.
understand?
Yes.
So I feel, because
And people are not seeing these opportunities.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking,
Okay?
yeah, because I feel like we get carried away. Everybody's trying to do what everybody's doing. Nobody's really thinking about, how do I do this? What do I do with my time? I'm very restless, so I don't have work. I swear to you. My husband is tired of me. I will stand there and start saying, yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I said, babe, I have this great idea. And I start talking. And when he's just standing there looking at me. And then when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, let's hear the loopholes. And he's like, no, it's okay. It's good. So when you think about what to
What's
do,
next?
what not to do, and you're not afraid of failing, because what's the worst that can happen anyway? You fail at it, which is not bad. I'm not afraid of it. So there's so much more we can do. So much more.
And don't you think, do we need to wait for a YouTube to, exit, or maybe a trade law happens tomorrow and then they said we're geo-blocking Africa and stuff like that? Don't you think that, where the industry is right now and the vulnerabilities
Yeah.
that, producers and those who are investing in experiencing, don't you think this is the time for you to come up with some of these novel ideas?
Okay, so if I'm thinking, I'm sure there are other people that are thinking as well. And I also, first of all, YouTube is not going to exit. But what's
Okay.
going to probably happen, God forbid, is that, 'cause people are doing things right now. So people are doing things, and the platform is not going to exist because of Nigeria. You'll probably just push us to one space and just drop it. What I mean is, God forbid, he will just wake up and say, okay, you guys are not, you're not, we don't know what's going on with that world. Let's probably just reduce the RPM, and then a lot of people will now leave because it will no longer be valuable.
I see.
God forbid.
I see.
But I feel like people that are thinking, people that have great ideas, should not be afraid. Just start, and let's see how it goes. I'm also going to start.
Exactly.
my
That
own.
was what I was going
Yeah.
to say, because I want you to tell us that I'm going to start.
Oh, you
right?
don't have to tell me to start.
No, what I mean by
I'm not
that.
a talker. Oh.
Oh, okay, good.
Don't worry about
Good,
that.
good, good. Because why I'm saying this is the distribution problems and challenges that we have faced so far. Most people are tired of the West coming in, and they determine when you start buying houses, and then when you go broke and there's nothing else to do, right? A lot of people, actors, producers, crew members, these guys raise the bar.
Yeah.
And to now call people to produce at a lower level or at a lower budget is a huge, huge challenge.
I know, right? But like I said,
So how do we navigate this current situation that the industry is facing? Can you proffer solutions? Don't share your ideas. That's not what I'm saying, right? But if you have a producer who has invested, and I know so many of them are, some talk to me, they are depressed because investors are after them, right? They already projected that Netflix is going to buy this for $200,000 or $300,000, and all of a sudden everything is shut down. What will you tell a producer who is in that? Yes.
um, first of all, who are your target audience?
Netflix people.
You hustle Netflix now. If Netflix is your target,
Because
you
there are
hustle
people who
Netflix.
made films and they say, I don't want to go to the cinema. This is Netflix standard.
Why?
What's that word? How is it
Why?
said? Is it
You
Netflix?
see, it's part. It's
Eh?
part.
Netflix. Netflix standard.
It's part of the segregation that blindsides people that I'm talking about. And the truth of the matter is, we are also refusing to acknowledge that a lot of creatives are lazy. They don't want to put in the work. They just want the benefits. And
Can you?
I'm not going to.
Because I
But
think a lot of people can misunderstand when you say
no,
creatives
but
are lazy.
we know we are lazy. You shoot a movie, you don't want to push it. Is that not laziness?
Okay.
You are wait before Netflix. What was the fate of Nigerian film?
Exactly.
Where did you guys go? We are so quick to forget. They don't want to put in the work. They just want to sell for that big box and post on Instagram and tell their friends how big they are. Sadly so.
Okay, I find this very, very, interesting because there are a lot of producers who, got respite because you have an off taker that is going to buy your film, right? And then you go, because producers also are doing a lot. We don't have an industry where you produce and then there are sales agents and distributors who also come and help you with international sales, and that is part of the things that I'm also trying to bring back to the industry, because if I have a room full like this and only 4 people have said, oh, we understand markets, we've gone to markets, we've sold our content to different African countries, we've made money, then that tells me also that there's a gap. Do you understand? Now, you may not also be playing in that space to say, oh, I've got a catalog of 200,000. Now, imagine you go to a market and then you're selling your catalog of 200,000 titles at $1,000 per title, and then you have 5 people buying it, or 6 people buying. That's $1 million, right? So, but we don't actually have that enlightenment to let also people and that's what we're trying to do actually with Nifs, to help people understand that if you're in the YouTube space, you also have residuals, other ways you can make money. We heard the CEO of one of the biggest tech companies is in the room, flew all the way from Brazil to join us this morning for a keynote session, and he also helped us to understand that YouTube can coexist with fast channels. So people like you who have fast channels. So in a nutshell, what we are just trying to say is that there are so many things that can be done, and people just need to take responsibility, right? That's what you're also trying to say in terms of, you make a movie, you are in this space, are you pushing it? What are the things you're doing?
True. Put in the work. And like I said, we don't have to lose one for the other.
Exactly.
Everything can work.
Can
We don't have to
coexist.
lose the cinema. We don't have to lose Netflix. We don't have to lose YouTube. We don't have to lose Iroko. We don't have to lose DSTV. We don't have to lose anything. We could, because there's so many, there are filmmakers that will never be able to raise 200 million.
Absolutely.
And there are filmmakers that will never be able to make 10 million naira films. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the industry does not have to be faced in one direction.
Absolutely.
But it happens that way, and I wonder why that happens.
So if you were to proffer a solution, because this is my last question to you, I take one or two questions from the audience.
Yeah.
So if you are to change something in the industry that
Yeah.
is not right, that
Yeah.
is a ceiling of limitation, what would that be?
I think recognize that you have a market everywhere you go. Because when you, for instance, there are people who said, God forbid, I'll never make YouTube films. Ew. 3 years ago. Now they
Just
don't,
3 years.
I don't even know. I'm just assuming.
Okay.
Now they now don't know how to now do the YouTube film because they have done ill too much.
Okay.
Do you get? It doesn't have to be. You don't even have to understand the market.
Yeah, because there are people who
Is
would,
there a market? Yes. Be on your feet. Run there. Get there. Make your mistakes one, twice. Then you don't have to lose one for the other. Do you get? So that's
Yes,
what I feel. That's what I think.
so what you're saying is whatever you understand, make sure you are there, you stay there, and you're
And
doing
whatever
it
you don't understand, you hustle your way in and understand it.
and understand it. So are there things that other avenues or other opportunities for distribution that you would consider? Because we're all speaking distribution.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of launching your own app
Yeah.
where people can actually subscribe? Maybe you do one, you already have a huge following. Imagine if you were to convert 1 million of your YouTube, subscribers to start paying you, even if it is 1,000 naira to watch a Ruth Kadiri film. Do you think that's a possibility? Is that part of the 5 ideas that you
No,
have?
it's not. It's not. It's not part of it. No, it's not.
Okay.
not
Yeah,
part
but
of it.
is it something? Because,
I will
everybody.
I will consider that when I know in my heart that I have built something enough structure to be able to gather that crowd. Sometimes we just keep calling numbers and numbers, and
Yes.
we don't face our realities.
Okay.
Do you understand? One of the
Yes.
things that I said I was going to do is something that I know involves Nigeria, and it is something that I know will work. So until I know that I will gather 1 million people to
Subscribe.
subscribe monthly, and I have what to keep them subscribed on,
You're not going into
I won't
that.
try. I won't do that one.
Oh, wow.
But
So,
somebody else can do it. We're gonna support.
okay. So essentially for you, content is king and queen. Content
Yes.
is key to
Yes.
drive whatever
Yeah.
platform. And I think that's a very, very brilliant, position to take, because a lot of times people try to figure out content, and it's always a huge issue. You spend $1 million to build an app, and then when it comes to content, you get in there, there's really no content. So you will rather prioritize content
Ready.
first
Yeah.
and content ready
Yeah.
before you now decide to launch your own solution.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, makes sense. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I think it's been a very interesting conversation that we've had this afternoon with Ruth. We'll just take one question. Yes. Okay, please, quickly. The mic. Where's the mic?
Sorry. Sorry. Good afternoon. Please, my name is Wisdom Odeje. I'm a sound designer and composer. I have a question. I understand you said that we have to look at the market, look at everybody, that you're making films for everybody and not segregate. But my issue as a sound person, coming from my own personal experience, is when you have to churn out films let's say every Thursday, for instance. We're talking about elevating our industry. We're talking about standards and stuff like that. What happens when you don't have enough time for sound? Because I personally stopped working on YouTube films because they designed the poster and set the release date, but they've not given me the files. Then I'm expected to do magic for No, it's very funny, but it's real talk. Yeah. So I'm expected to magically somehow work on dialogue, ambience, sound effects, foley, and score the film and do a final mix that is up to par with Hans Zimmer or something. So my own question is like, it's not everybody that does that. I've worked with people that actually pay attention to sound in the industry, right? So, but most of our producers do not think sound is. I mean, because if they do, it will reflect in how they, work with sound people. Yeah.
So what's your question?
So my question exactly is: don't you think? How do you ensure that you have the quality for sound when you're releasing movies every Thursday, feature length movies? Because the honest truth is, it takes time to do quality work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How long do you work as a sound man?
On what particular project?
Any type of project, the one
So
you're
if I
On
comfortable,
a feature film.
the one you're
okay,
comfortable working on.
okay, so I'll give an example now. There's a film called Landline. It's on Amazon Prime. I did the sound design and the score. We worked on that for sound for 3 months. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
are you saying that you need
But that's
minimum of 3 months?
I can do that. I could do that in like a month or two if the pay is good.
So for
Yeah,
a
that's
YouTube,
another thing.
so
Yeah,
for a
because if you're
YouTube,
churning,
sorry,
if you're yeah,
sorry, to for you to get what you consider a, because you said you stopped doing YouTube films.
yeah, yeah.
So what is the average, the minimum that you as a sound
Some person will
professional
work on a feature
needs
length.
for YouTube
Yeah,
to realistically get it right?
so, yeah, good. So to my own approach for YouTube or Netflix, a film is a film. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Netflix, it's the same amount of time that I will use for Netflix, I'll use for YouTube. The only difference
Really?
is in the final mix. But I'll probably take like a month. Or worst case scenario, 2 to 3 weeks. But it all depends on what you're paying to. Because if you don't have time, I understand that sometimes we have like no rush in your calendar and all that. So if you give me enough resources to, or I need this done in 2 weeks, I can get some other guys on the team. I can get hands as good as myself too. And we'll still upscale. We'll still meet up, you understand, your target. So
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
But they don't pay us enough.
That's the main issue. Yes.
First of all, the fact that you did not work on a sound project for a film doesn't mean it is bad. And also, the fact that you didn't work on it and someone else worked on it, it still doesn't mean it is bad. When I said that we don't have to lose one for the other, I understand that the system is broken. So sometimes when I look at people and I listen to them talk and I see them put on a lot of pressure on YouTube, I also kind of feel, I look at them and I'm like, okay. It's almost like a woman who has nagged her husband to death and has now faced her children. YouTube is a platform that has its own input and output in terms of how much you can put in and how much you do not put in. It does not mean that the content there are substandard. However, you cannot compare a 10 million naira film, like I said, with a 200 million naira film. You can't compare it. So when I see people sit pretty in the comfort of their homes and probably talk bad on YouTube content, is either they are not realistic people or they're just the mad crowd that try to destroy Netflix and that they have done.
And they've moved to YouTube.
Like, yes, they have now moved to YouTube. And the truth is, if we start making content on Instagram, they will still carry spoon and chair and sit down on that platform and start talking about it. I make content for YouTube based on what YouTube, the input and output for YouTube. And I have a team that does that. And no, we're not underpaying them. We're not putting them under pressure. Also, maybe you need to also ask yourself, how fast can I run? Because if your life is at stake, bro, that 1 week you will deliver. God forbid, God forbid something happens. Your child is at the hospital, you need to pay a bill. You thought you could never do it, but you can do it. Do you get? But let's also assume you have chosen not to do it. It is also a matter of choice.
But how about the quality?
It does no. The people that I work with are
Yes.
people that I have been working with from time immemorial.
So there is no
So
compromise of
there is no
quality.
compromise. I did not go. I'm going to talk about myself. I don't go on the streets to pick up somebody who is going to do the person who does the sound. Who does the singing is different from the person who treats the sound. I
So
have
you've got a complete team.
three people do sound for me.
Okay.
It moves from the guy who's doing the singing. It moves to Austin Erowele's table. So I don't know. That I release movies weekly does not mean that I use 5 days to produce score and whatever the film.
I see.
Do you understand?
Yeah, makes sense.
So, but if you need 3 months, it's okay. I'm just gonna find somebody who's gonna be able to work at my own pace.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Thank you so much. I
you.
think it's been a very, very interesting and engaging conversation with Ruth. Okay, he has the mic. Please just make it very brief. Because
Okay.
you already had the mic. Yeah.
My question is kind of similar to what he asked.
Okay, thank you.
But-
If that is the case, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, thank you so much, Ruth. I think it was an absolute pleasure having you. Before you get off stage, Godwin, please step forward. So we have a little surprise. Yes. Okay. So we have our partners in Toronto, African Women Acting.
Okay.
And they have said that this certificate of recognition is presented by African Women Acting Hour to Ruth Kadiri in recognition of your outstanding contributions to Nollywood as an actress. Are you clapping? As a filmmaker and an advocate for women in film. And so this is presented by the African Women Acting. They are based in Toronto, Canada. And on behalf of their executive directors and their president, I want to present.
Thank you all for having me. Congrats, Ruth. Thank you.
Congrats. Nice one. What's next?
Sit down.
Oh, is that okay? Let's do it.
All right, guys, can we? Yeah, I think Chantel is here. Yeah. Please, Mascala. Yeah. So please, can we have Chantel and Mascala for the International Sales and Distribution Executive Programs? Are you here? Please come forward. We are done. We're done with time. So can we please come forward quickly so we can do that? Each of my time might have to be 65. All right, guys. Can we please keep clapping, guys? Keep clapping. Thank you.
Okay. So this session, we're going to be very, very brief. Well, these are all sales agents from the UK. You're going to introduce yourself. I think you've not been on the stage. You've been doing the training and the master class. And then Chantel as well. So do you have a mic by you? Is there a mic? All right. So we are essentially what we're trying to do is to help everyone in this room understand international sales and distribution, how you can actually go to markets. And please, the technical team, I also want you to get ready the MIPCOM market video for me. And once it's on the screen, you're going to play it. But I just want Mascala to introduce herself, what she does, and how she can help producers here who are looking at international markets, how to get out there, or how she can help them get out, right? And as well as Chantel. Yeah, so Mascala, you start, and then
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Michaela Gabriel Adams, and I'm the founder of Afro Films UK, which is a film sales company that specializes in connecting Black and global majority films to the international markets. My introduction into the business was through the master's program in the UK that specializes in film distribution and marketing. And I worked for GFM Animations, which is a sales company, one of the giant sales companies in the UK, which trained me on how the business works and
please can we keep it down? Thank you.
how to connect with GFM animation. We were selling animations, but those principles I've been now able to apply to Black films to help us grow.
Why black films?
Because the underrepresentation, we've been forced. Hollywood has been forcing white savior, white savior, and it's fine. We appreciate those stories, but now we want to tell our own. And at the minute, the diaspora is starving for films from Africa, from the Caribbean, that we can connect to that culture that we have been basically ostracized from. And I've had distributors in the US who've actually reached out and said, listen, we've seen there's a growing demand for films from the continent. Level 33 Entertainment and Antonio reached out to me at Cannes and said, look, can we have a meeting? We need African content. So there's an audience there, and an audience is money. We have to tap into it. And I think it's important that we do that and collaborate with the people on the continent, with the people in the Caribbean, in order to let these stories be told, and so that we can monetize it and not be ripped off. Because a lot of people have signed deals and you're getting a little money here and not understanding how the business really works. And taking, you're happy, I think you mentioned a deal, you're happy, oh yes, we've signed this, we've got this money. When that's your content is worth more than that. So having partnering with people in the diaspora who understand how the business works is important and is your way of safeguarding your own IP.
Thank you. Chantel.
Hi everyone, my name is Chantal Rochester. I'm here with Know Your Power and I'm a film producer and actress. I had to literally start distributing myself, full stop. I wanted to make Black content because I started from an actress and I decided to start producing because there was no roles for me to be an actress. And that's how I got into producing. And I realized when it came up to now, the financiers saying to me, okay, so what platforms this is going to be on? Everybody kind of looked at each other. There's a lot of white distributors going, well, and all they could mention was say BBC or, you know, in my day it was those terrestrial TVs. There wasn't even much SVOD around. And as it grew, they still didn't know how to market my projects. So it led me to have to go directly to Netflix, directly to Amazon, directly to BET to get the deal. And as I started to do that, I realized how much money was being taken from me in between from the salesperson rather than the distributor. Because I was like, hold on a minute. So you're telling me that, like Mascella was saying, there was an incident where I was working with a co-producer in Africa and he went to a SVOD. I won't say who it is.
We know.
But he went to an SVOD and they offered him $50,000 for 20-year lease on the film. Now it's a UK and South African co-action thriller. I went to them because I was like, hell no. I went to them and got $500,000 for 4 years of a lease. That's a difference between never paying your investors back and paying your investors back. And then I was able to go to another distributor and say, listen, don't make them out money you. You need to match this. You know, so then before I even started filming or getting everybody on board, remember, I didn't really have much cast. This wasn't no big power Denzel Washington cast. I already had $1 million in my hand on paper. You know, so then I was able to go to investors after that and say, right, you guys, all you need to do is cash flow this. Yeah, you'll get this percent, blah, blah, blah. So the way that we actually have to understand in terms of our distribution is that that is our money source and we should know where that money source comes from at the beginning of our journey.
So, I mean, what you just described right now, which a lot of people in this room may not really understand, is pre-sales.
Pre-sales.
Can you talk about that?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so pre-sales is how I would say a lot of people have some sort of pre-sales in their bigger deals, and what that is when you go to a distributor and they buy your film before you made it.
Yeah.
So they don't not making it, and I go to them. I go to them with a script, my deck of who's going to be in it, what's going to happen in it, etc. Who my creatives are, and they contract my film and give me $500,000 at this, just for example of that, on paper with all my deliverables that I have to deliver by a particular date. So I now have this $500,000 on paper before I even thought about what date and principal photography. And that's normally most of my models work like that, because everything that I do is come from research. I know exactly what each station needs. So therefore, I make sure that everything we're doing is towards that juncture. So when I walk in there, I'm walking in there because why should we always have to make content before making money? That's not how that works. And also in terms of the pre-sale, when you transfer that to terrestrial TV, it's exactly the same. It's like commissioning. You know, when you go to TV, they pay you first to make the program.
Yeah,
That's
but the
exactly the
difference
same model.
is in the IP. Who owns under a pre-sales? You own the IP.
Right. So on the
Right?
pre-sale, I will always own the IP, or whichever production company made the IP. You don't lose your IP. What you're doing is you are leasing the film to them for a certain amount of years, and they are paying you for those years to have your film on their platform. When those time is up and the lease is up, you can now go to another station and sell it again. And this is the thing that I feel that we miss a lot in distribution. When the lady up here before was speaking, and we were saying, why do we just follow like Netflix, and then when that's gone, we follow YouTube? And like realistically, from our side of the seat, when we think about distribution from the UK and the Western world, we think about separating every single country. We go, right, okay, some films we think, okay, great, we're gonna get a fee for Africa there. I'm gonna get a fee for in UK. I'm gonna get a fee from Australia. I'm gonna get a fee from Asia. And that's how we make our money in the distribution stratosphere. The problem is what distributors are doing in particular countries, like in Africa, and it's not all distributors, so distributors in the room, please don't kill me, is they're taking it and saying they're going to sell it to the world for you, and you get one fee. And that's the problem, is understanding how distribution really, really works. That's why distributors seem to stay in business a lot longer than the creatives do, because we have to start educating ourselves. And the way to do that is if we start thinking about distribution and investigate, like what the lady before was saying, which is she's true. We are lazy. Not being funny. It runs in all of us, and it's not a black thing or a white thing. It's just that if you see one place to market, you're gonna go for it. That's reality. But we have to diversify our mind, and we have to start going, hold on a minute. The reason to go to markets and what Nifs does is so important is because those are the places you start realizing how everybody else does distribution. So when you come back home now, you have a different ideology of distribution.
And talking about going to markets, we've been doing this for almost 2 decades. And I remember I was with you in Cannes, and I just remember that conversation. And I felt like busting out. And I think we had a lunch by the BFI or something. And she just said to me with her Jamaican UK accent, "I'm done with small money. I'm not looking for small money anymore." So, he said, "I'm going over to, I think it was the Saudi guys or something. That's where the money is, And I just want you to let us know before I come back to Maskela, how many of those big monies have you raised, actually?
So every film that I have made, I've raised the money for. Like
how many and how much?
So the film we're doing right now, we're still in the early stages. We've just raised $1 million. It would go up to about £5 million pounds. The film I was talking about, the UK South African, that was 1.5 million. The first film I did, which was my first ever film, that was £500,000, which was very micro budget compared, and that was sold to Netflix. And then I have also done TV. So right now we're also in a series, and we're just raising 50 million for a series which includes Africa and Jamaica. So we're talking to some people. So we're just going to script stages of that. So it ranges from depending on what projects. There's been some projects where I've got commissioned by like a Sky TV, and they'll pay a couple 100,000, or they've paid 1.5 million or 2 million. These are all pounds, by the way. So it varies, and I think I noticed that everybody gets stuck on how much. In terms of how much it is, and people think it's very far away from what they can obtain. But like I said, in that situation where my South African teammate asked and got 50 and I got 500, this is where collaboration comes in. You know, because the only reason I can tell you why I would have got 500 is probably because it's accent out of my mouth. You know, and these is why collaborating with the diaspora is beneficial, because we still need African stories, as Masculine keeps saying. The market that we're in, when we're going around to Cannes and Berlinale, everybody's going. I had it with like my deal with BET, and I did a deal with BET in 4 weeks. I didn't have a film. I just had my deck. You know, 4 weeks, 500,000. You know, and that was because they were like, he came over to find me, because somebody said she's the one that makes, you know, like in the UK is making black films, and he came and he said to me, "Yo, man, where's all the black people at?"
Where are the black people?
And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yo, man, I thought when I was gonna come over here from America, I was gonna find like black people from UK, like American people, like you have hubs for film, and like you have multiple big companies." And I was like, well, if you really do the study of the UK, there's nothing black owned there. There's no radio station owned. There's no TV station owned. Like, we don't own a black station. So how then? So we've had to diversify, is what I'm saying, even ourselves, to go out. I can make a quick deal in America, or I can wait 4 or 5 years for English to catch up. This is why I've had to diversify, and this is why you have to do the same.
Thank you so much. And Mascala, I'm going to come back to you. Yes. Are you clapping for her? Thank you. You know, this is very interesting. This is a producer who has decided to self-distribute, and this is an international sales agent who helps producers to make money. There are things that she pointed out, issues with sales agents and distributors. For example, selling one time, and how long you need to wait, the issues around P&A. You know, yesterday, you know, there was a case that was made around, you know, distributors helping producers to market and all that. And I know that for everyone who is seated here, there are basic things that if you're coming to a sales agent, an international sales agent like Mascala, there are certain things you would expect. And I believe one of them is your P&A, right? No sales agent will take you serious if you don't have a P&A budget. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist for most producers. So it's not allowed to ask you the question and answer it. I want you to talk about the issues that you've seen with independent producers who are looking for international sales and distribution opportunities, and yet they are not able to meet up with the basic requirements to be able to help them.
So I think when you're approaching a sales agent, you need to be market ready. You can't spend all of this time making a fantastic film and then now you don't know how to connect it to markets. In order to get the attention of a sales agent, like Ijoma said, that P&A budget is going to be the barrier. So when you're doing your budget at the pre-production stage, include in that budget your P&A in your marketing expenses, in your marketing budget, because you can make your beautiful film and then no P&A budget, no sales agent. No sales agent, no international markets. No international markets. Yeah. So do you get what I'm saying? And I think that's something that should be taught in the beginning stages with production and even in the UK. It's not, I don't want to make it, it's not because it's African filmmakers or, this is it's global, and it's a problem with producers across the globe. It's not just an African problem. People creatives put all of this time and effort into making a fantastic film and don't know how to connect it or don't know how to make it a viable market ready asset. and that's one of the biggest barriers, because there are films that I'm not able to take on board, or not. And it's a beautiful film. I've watched the film. It's beautiful. I cried, I laughed, it was fantastic. Thank you, I can't take your film. Why? No P&A budget. How am I going to book market screenings? How am I going, like, how, you know? So I think it's important to consider that from the jump.
Okay, just to bring this conversation home to us, because
Yeah.
a lot of people have not really played in this international market space. For those of us here who have released films in the cinemas, at your pre-production stage, did you put aside money for marketing? That is the P&A English that we're speaking here. So at that stage where you are still pre-producing, or as part of your production budget, was, print and advertising, that's what P&A, was it part of your production budget? So most times that is not the case.
Yeah.
And yep.
Also, someone mentioned sound in the back. That is one of the key reasons I've had films rejected by distributors. The sound quality. It looks fantastic on screen, but it's not that it won't pass QC. And that's another thing. So I think if you don't have the time to make the sound market ready, market and industry standard, then don't bring the film out. Wait, take the extra time in that post-production and make sure that your film can compete with the fantastic films that Brazil is putting out and all these other countries around the world.
Okay, so my last question for you is, walk us through a producer walking up to you after this meeting to say, oh, I've got a bunch of films, or I've just got a feature-length film, and I would want to work with you on the international sales and distribution. Do you carve out territories for your distribution? Do you work with distribution companies in other territories? Do you do theoretical release in other territories? Can you just give us a short summary of how, this whole process works for its sales?
And how it could apply to producers
Exactly, how it applies to
So,
producers here.
I think in terms of how it would apply to producers here, the standard market, I won't take it if there's no P&A budget. I don't think it's fair to apply. I think it's fair in this circumstance to watch the films that you have. If they're ready, if they're in post-production, email me, send the films. If I think it's something that I can market in specific territories, or if there are distributors that come to mind that I think may be interested in your film, I'd be happy to connect, do introductions, and just take my fee. Yeah, take my take my cut. But in general, then in the sense of like a standard, someone approaching me, I would look at the film, look at what territories we can recoup some money from, which territories would be interested in your film, and contact those distributors per territory, depending on the quality of the film, depending on the genre, and what works well in that particular territory.
So what are the territories that are heavy on diaspora, Black diaspora, and are interested in our kind of content? And what kind of platforms, when you say distributors, who are you selling to? Are they SVOD? Are they traditional TV? Or is it cinemas? So let's talk about just that quickly.
Okay, so most of my deals have been either AVOD or SVOD. And
so outside of YouTube,
I don't I don't do anything with YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
But of course, YouTube is AVOD as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are the other AVOD,
So
because people also need to know that there are other AVODs that exist outside of YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
So with me in particular, I'm selling to distributors, so I don't have any distribution links. I mean, I don't have any connection to distribution platforms like that. I'm selling specifically to distributors, and I'm collecting either a minimum guarantee or a revenue share, depending on the film and the quality and what we can negotiate. Now, in terms of the territories that we've had the most success has been the US, the UK, Germany, Germany, and France are probably the key territories where I've had the best conversations and the best successes.
Black type
yes,
content?
for Black African content and African American content.
Okay. And like you said, where you just deal with distributors who buy out the rights for each of the territories?
Yes. And the distributors that I deal with will distribute your film to multiple platforms. Yes.
And then they report back to you?
Yes.
And what model do you actually prefer to work with? Flat fee, MG, minimum guarantee, of course, MG.
I mean, I prefer MGs, of course, everyone does. But I mean, it doesn't, just because there's no MG doesn't mean that you're not going to make your money back. The Otera guy who was here, they do revenue share. You can make your money back without getting a lump sum up front, and you need to be open to that option now more than ever, because MGs are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But it doesn't mean turn down a deal because there's no MG.
Okay, so in case these things are sounding Greek to you, right? There are, honestly, I don't want to deceive myself that people understand what we are saying. Yeah. I mean, I play in this space, I have these conversations, and most times I know that people are lost when we are talking. So, but, you know, they flew all the way from the UK. They had the first part of the masterclass on Monday. We partnered with the Co-Creation Hub in Lekki. Tomorrow, Thursday, if you're not watching films. By the way, please, I also want to mention that Film House, our partners, there are issues in the Palm, so they just notified us that they are moving the screenings to Landmark. So please just take note of that so you don't go to the Palm. But just in case, you have to choose one, because while some people are watching films, they are also facilitating master classes that will really break down some of these things. We don't have enough time here to talk deep. I'm sure a lot of people, do you know what an MG is? Or you don't know what an MG is? Minimum guarantee. Okay, good. So there's a whole lot of, this is a chorus answer, but there are people who don't know. So if you are in that space, a whole day tomorrow, they are at the Co-Creation Hub. We're running these master classes just to break down everything around international sales, markets, and distribution. And also, I'm going to play a video for us. One of the markets, in fact, the biggest TV market, the mother of all markets, right? I am managing for them, for the whole of, I'm managing Africa for them. And we are launching the Creative African Content Pavilion at MIPCOM. MIPCOM is huge, is a monster market. And one of the things I want to do is to handhold a couple of people in this room who you've got a bunch of things, content that you have created, films that you have produced, and you're looking for other ways that you can make money. And I'm telling you here that just like you can be a Chantel who self-distributes, right? At MIPCOM, you can do both. You can actually meet a distributor or sales agent that can manage, all the different territories for you. Or you can also self-distribute. Last year, working with the French embassy, we took 20 companies to this market, right? And one of the things that I try to do for them is to make sure that they get meetings. You don't go to these places and you're talking to each other. No. It's a waste of flight money and hotel money. So you have to, hustle. Let me put it that way. So if you have the video for MIPCOM ready, please can you play it? Because Kwatsi, okay, yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, this is MIPCOM and it's in October in the south of France. Okay, that's it. So if you are in this room, you've got content that you've produced, you spent money to produce, and you've not been able to make money, can you stand?
No, everybody's... Stop lying, people.
Ruth is standing. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me repeat. Let me repeat myself again. I think I spoke too fast the first time. I spoke too fast the first time. No, you heard me. Okay, because I've got a quick, I have to do a quick assessment to select 5 people in this room among the people who are standing up. Courtesy of Nifs. This is our own little way of supporting the industry. So, when you're going to go to MIPCOM, the badge for you to do business for 3 days is €8,300. Please, can somebody punch it? Yes, yes, that's what it is. Yeah, no. So punch it by 1/6 and let us know what the Naira equivalent is. 1,300 euro just for you to go. All these big executive networks, they all come to that place for 3 days. 2 point something million. Yeah, that's what, this badge that you're wearing. That's all. That's, yes, just the badge. I didn't say flights. I didn't say hotel. Just this thing you're wearing that will give you access to go and have meetings. Yeah. But I'm happy to announce that we're going to give out 5 badges. And yeah, we're going to give out 5 badges right now. Yes. And it's very, very simple. If you have a film or you have, first of all, I'm looking for people with body of work. Please don't tell me you have one film. It's not a good use of our time. Okay? Yes, it's not a good use of our time. You can't go, and I have to be very truthful to you. You can't go to a market with just one film. Do you understand? So in case you just have one film, please sit down. Please. Yes, what's the minimum to self-distribute? The minimum, I'd say 5. 5.
I would start at 3. I would say give them to go for their first time.
5.
It's different. I'm not a producer, so
So for you 3? Okay. So feature length films. What else?
Feature-length films.
Use your
or
mic.
TV. Oh, sorry. I would say 3 minimum feature-length films and TV series.
For TV series, how many episodes is it?
It can be a limited series with like a 3 to 5 if it's more of a documentary focused series. If it's more fictional series, then you'll be looking at least 5.
5 episodes.
5 episodes plus.
Limited series. And
Yeah.
how about full-length TV series?
Full length, you're looking about 8, 7 to 8, at least minimum of full length series. 7 to 8, and then up to like 15. When you start going over 15, you're probably going to get it split into seasons.
All right. So just again, in case you don't have up to 3 films, please sit down. You don't have up to 3 films, and your episodes, and with good sound.
With good sound.
With very good sound. Yeah.
Or start talking to
Yes,
the guys
3
at the
feature
back for your
films.
sound.
Yes, 3
Right
feature
now.
films, please. 2, no 3. Yeah. So she actually said 5, but Chantel was kind enough to bring it down to 3. So you have at least 3 feature films and a TV series with good sound. Okay, how many of you have like a trailer right now on you? Oh my goodness. Making it making it more and more more and more difficult for us. Okay. How many of you have, the distributors are asking very critical questions. How many of you have your one-pager? Your one-pager that you can actually use to say, okay, this is what I have. Okay. Chantel is asking, how many you've been to a market before? Please sit down. Biodu refused to sit down. Ruth has refused to sit down. Okay, and this time you want to go as a sales person. Okay, so let's do it this way. Feature films, please raise your hand. Feature films. So everybody here is mostly film. No, if you're not film, okay, film. No, TV series, no, not yet. I'm coming to that, but film. Yes, for films, 1, 2. And everybody, you have at least 3 films. Yeah. TV. Yeah. So okay. So do we have people that have both films and TV series? Both films and TV series. Films and TV series combined. Okay. So can we do a head count? Yeah.
Sorry, is it possible that everybody with their hand up could kind of come and stand a little bit close to the front so we can see the hands?
Thank you.
Because it would really help. Okay. And those that don't have any TV series, can they stay in this area? And people that have TV series,
So if you
can
have
they go
film
that
and
side?
TV this side, if you don't have film and TV, so you have films and TV series this side, both this side, and then you have only film or TV series.
Yeah, that side.
Okay.
Okay. It's gonna be hard, my God.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you've got 9 this side and you've got 10 this side. Okay, I think we need to go and everybody needs to say how many projects they have. If I start this side and you start that side. If I start with you, sir, how many projects do you have that you could bring to market?
So I have 3 feature films and 2 limited series.
Yes, please. Please. Godwin, where are you? Godwin. Godwin.
So that's 5.
So, yes. Yes. Okay.
So it's 3 films and 2 TV limited series.
Give him a number as well. So number
1.
Yes, number
Number
1.
2.
3 feature films and 13 episode TV series.
Sorry?
13 episodes. Yes, 13 episode
Please
TV
come
series.
this way. I was saying that those who have film and TV should stay here.
3 feature films.
Okay, 3 films.
Yes, and one 13
number
episode
2
TV series.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 5 feature length and then 1 series.
Okay.
So number 3.
Number 3, yes.
Actually, 10 feature and 1 series.
Okay. Roots.
10 features. 10 features, yes.
Then Ruth.
2 series and 5 feature.
2 series and 5 feature films.
1 feature, 1 series.
Sorry, sir. You are going to have to sit down for me because you don't have 3. Apologies. It's 3 projects minimum. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so forget strike that 6.
3 feature film, 2 series.
Sorry?
3 feature films, 2 series.
Number 7, 3 series, 1 feature.
2 feature, 1 series, and 1 short.
So you go sit down. Is she sitting or she's is she part of this?
We have over 10, number 9. 9 series, 20 movies.
Okay, I'm already starting to second there. Can I have this lady stand here, please? Can I have you stand there, please?
Okay.
Okay.
Why are the people standing?
Because those 2 have the most film and series out of everyone.
Okay.
And then everybody else has between
5.
6 and 3. Well,
Okay.
7 and 3.
Okay.
These two he has practically 15, and this
Sorry,
lady
sorry,
has the most.
sorry, please
Sorry.
keep
Can
it
we
down.
keep the noise down a little bit?
Please, can you just keep it down? So, what movies are they? What kind of movies are they? TV movies? Are they cinema movies? Are they YouTube movies? We need to be very clear on that.
For some, we have for YouTube. Then we also have the series as well.
No.
Are they TV or series? Some are cinemas.
So
while
have
some
you
are
have you
YouTube.
released some of your films in cinema yet?
No, not yet.
Well, they were made for cinema.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
5 of them were meant for cinema. Yes.
But they
5
didn't.
of
They
them.
didn't go to cinema yet.
Two.
Went to the cinema.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Yes. So if we were to, in order not to keep everybody.
What number was you?
If
4. 4 and
so,
and
if we
9.
were to take 2 more people from here, who would that be?
Give me a list. Let me see what the numbers are. Okay, so. Number 3. Number 3 and number 3. 3, 5, and 6. We need to know.
3, 5, and 6.
Oh, we got
5.
Numbers 3, 5, and 6. Could you step forward a little bit, please, and just tell us, like Ijoma asked, in terms of YouTube, cinema?
Yes. Are they YouTube films, Ruth? No. Okay. Okay, some are on Prime. Okay.
Some
Yes.
on YouTube. They're YouTube films.
They're all.
Yes, on YouTube.
They're all on YouTube.
And what was the other number? What was that? 3, 5, and 6. You were 3.
What
5.
rights?
Who was number 6? You was
Okay,
number
and
6.
do you
my
have
dear.
rights available
7.
for
So
your
who's
films?
number 6?
They're all available. Okay.
Okay, so.
Thank you. Please. Please.
Step forward.
No.
Oh, you was number 6. Yeah, could you let us know about your films, please, in terms of whether YouTube, on cinema, release?
No, not on cinema.
So they're all YouTube. So I think
Okay.
the lady with the hair is the only one that's got the Amazon.
Amazon.
Releases.
Who?
This lady here with the hair.
Yes, Ruth. Yes, she does. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I would put her with them 3.
Okay, you put her with them 3. Okay, so the rest can sit.
Yes.
Okay, so Ruth and Uche and then the rest please sit. Thank you.
Can the rest take a seat for us, please? Thank you very much for your time. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Just these 3. Sorry.
So here, this side.
Over here, this side. Yeah, if you take a seat for me, please, sir, and you, ma'am. Sorry. Just these 3 stay standing. Okay, sir. We're going to go numbers on this side again. So this is just our TV side. Number 1.
So TV series limited 80 episodes.
One limited series, 8 episodes.
And could you let us know if that's documentary or fiction, please?
What genre? Drama. Yep. Yes.
Series, 26 episodes, 1.
Okay.
And then
One.
I have a talk show to 25
No,
episodes.
no,
Just
no talk
series.
show. Yes.
Drama.
Yes, drama. Okay. Yodu? Okay.
I have 8 unreleased features, festival worthy and all faith-based.
When you say unreleased features, do you mean they're already made, they're ready to go, or?
Yeah, so out of the 8, 3 are ready. Then the other 5 are in last stages of post-sound.
And they've never been anywhere?
No, just festivals.
Just films?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just festivals. Okay. 8.
Question, have they
Just
festivals, have they been festivals outside of Nigeria and Africa?
Yes, we've gone to one in Orlando. We had the world premiere for one at Essence this year, and it's going to TINF as well next month.
Okay. All right. And did you say you have series as well? No series. No. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And that was number 3. Number 4?
TV series, 18 episodes.
1.
Just 1.
Okay.
Number 4, 1 TV series, 18 episodes. Could you let us know what genre that is, please? Drama.
Drama.
Number
4 unreleased titles made for Amazon, 5 titles currently on Prime and and Netflix, and then 12 on YouTube.
Oh wow. Are they films or TV series? All films.
Okay.
5
Can you stand
made
over
for
there,
Prime
please?
Video. Yes.
Can you go over there, please?
Yes.
No. Could you repeat that for me, please, my dear? Could you repeat that for me?
Sorry? 4 unreleased titles made for international streaming and cinema, 5 currently on different cinema in their last window, and then 12 YouTube titles, all drama.
Okay. Thank you. Next.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 5. Number 6.
Okay, so I have 3 TV series, drama series, 2 of which are also dubbed in French. Yeah, so that's what I have, yes. 2 in French.
How many episodes total?
So for 2 of the drama series, we actually have...
Sorry, let's pass the mic. You are thinking. Yes, next person. She's not sure. Yes.
Okay, so we actually have 2. One of them is a sitcom that is 52 episodes. Then we have a drama series, which is...
Where have they been? Have there been any platform?
Aside, just terrestrial TV, basically.
Terrestrial TV?
Yes.
And when were they produced?
The last one was 2017.
Okay, no. Thank you.
Okay. Right, next one. What number are we on? 7.
4 seasons for family magazine show, 1 season game show, 1 season talk show.
Balance. Yeah. Number 8. Non-fiction.
Okay, just 1 TV series, family drama series. How many episodes? 26.
Year of production.
Last year, last year, so it's not,
All right.
not aired anywhere
Okay.
yet.
Okay, I have 5 feature-length films. 1 is on Amazon Prime, and the other ones are on African Magic and YouTube.
And what kind of genres are
They're all dramas.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so the last person we would like to come over here from this way is number 3. Yes, it's you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Thank you.
But please, let's give everybody a round of applause.
Thank you. Okay, so please, can you join us upstage? Yeah.
Come take my seat. I can stand. Come.
No. I just want to say, because yes, I want to say congratulations to. Yes, you do the yes.
Okay, look. I think everybody in this room is fantastic filmmakers, but listen, markets are where you get the privilege of meeting people that can elevate your films as much as possible, you know? So make sure you're prepared, make sure you're ready for this market, make sure you have your decks, you know exactly what you're saying about your projects fast, and congratulations.
So just to also add to the congratulations, we are going to organize a training for you to get you market ready. We're going to manage your meetings for you on the database. Make sure. Yes. This is the most important. We are not going for tourism. So you should get minimum 50 meetings. So you should go, yes, 50. Yes. So you should go prepared and know that you're going to be talking from morning till night. That is it. It's very stressful. Right? It's not fun.
Business.
It's business. And you're going to have opportunities to meet with international sales execs, networks, different SVOD platforms, different people globally, that you just have 5-10 minutes to make a mark.
And what I would like to do, because I run Know Your Power, which supports packaging and so forth, I'd like to offer my service to Ijoma and you guys while you're getting ready for this market, so that if there is any
So just to know
extra
how much
things-
it costs, tell them how much it costs that you're offering.
My packages are about £2,000, £900, that kind of area. My decks are in the hundreds of pounds, and my time is like £100, £200 an hour. You are welcome.
So what are you offering?
Do us proud.
So what are you offering them?
So I will offer Ijoma she's packages. You lot can tell me what you need them to have,
Okay.
and I will make sure that I support you guys in your packaging journey.
So yes. Oh yeah.
I would like to extend my services in regards to market prep and making sure you're ready, kind of break down your territories for you, who you can target, and any support needed there, I'm happy to help as well.
So you got documentation and packaging, and then you've definitely got distribution support and strategy.
So, on this note, I want to also thank our partners. I'm sure they're going to watch this. Read, they are the biggest globally in terms of markets, RX in France and in London. They have, they've partnered with Nifs. And we are not just managing Nigeria, we're managing the whole of Africa, and trying to make sure we get Africans prepared for this. I said there has to be diversity. There is no African pavilion in MIPCOM.
Can we just give Ijoma a round of applause for that? She is managing the whole of Africa for MIPCOM, who has no African presence, ever. That's a big deal.
So yeah, I'm super grateful to God for that opportunity. It took a lot of prayer and fasting to get to this point.
Amen.
You will not understand. But sometimes we just come and make these announcements and you have no idea what has gone on and all the back and forth and all the talk that you have to talk. Your success is my success. When producers go to markets and they're able to, make money, then that is my own success story. When you come together for Nifs and you have opportunities that you normally wouldn't have, that is also my success story. So I am very excited. I'm very grateful to God that we can actually open up access. And I'm sure some of you, after now, you will keep going and going and going. I've been doing that for almost 20 years. The first Nigerian pavilion, I set it up in Cannes, this same Cannes in 2013. So I don't know where you were in 2013.
Some people were in Pampers.
Yeah, I remember taking about 50 producers to 50, yeah. Yes. So yeah, and for some reasons I stopped, but I feel that they were missing a lot because I've seen people in yacht by the Rivera, and I've not seen African countries or companies. And I believe that we have what it takes to play in that space. But we just have to be intentional and then use what we have, our skills, our expertise, to handhold them and just, show them the path. And then I'm sure we'll come back next year by God's grace to give some of the success stories. So on this note, thank you. I'm sure we took a lot of our time, but yeah.
Also, I am here. Know Your Power is based in the Kano, so we are heavily discounted most of our services for this festival. I'm only here till Friday, so if you do want to come and grab a
You're
chat,
not here tomorrow.
get some help.
You are
I'm
in
already
Lekki.
at there tomorrow, but I have a free day on Friday, and I also can do a lot online, but the packages will only last at that price during this week. So please go in there and let me help you.
Okay, so group photograph, yes.
Hello. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your patience. Um, okay. All right. So for those that been selected for the MIPCOM, I was gonna say MIPCOM Waka. Please, pardon my worry. For those that selected for the MIPCOM conference, please meet God for your visa processing. Yeah, those that need processing, if you have your visa, don't bother. But if you need visa processing, please meet Godwin. Please, we'll quickly jump to what we're to do next. And that's a presentation by Moses. He's going to be talking on the Nigerian theatrical and box office industry presentation. This is actually followed by a conversation with some panelists. Can we? Okay. Okay, yes. And Moses, please, can you come forward? Moses is going to do a presentation. There'll be a conversation after that. Another announcement is that if you know you are interested in the what's that? Trans what? The Trans Perfect conversation on sound. And I think that's where some people are going to be selected to travel for that as well. I think they're having a session right now. I think Kanu Hall. Is it Kanu Hall or Isiokpo? Yeah, Kanu Hall. They're having a presentation now. For those for the sound training, there's a presentation now. Please, can you go there if you're interested? Those for the sound. Okay, please. I'll just let.
Thank you. Yes, so yeah, we can talk about sound, and also on the agenda you can see we're going to cover the technical requirements of the streamers, so you can come and be well prepared when you present your projects to them. So I mean, it's going to be short, intense, very interesting. So all the people interested in how to improve sound and technical requirements of the streamers, please join us in Kano right now, just next door. Thank you.
So we've talked about the technical aspect of production, sound. So this is where you hear from the guys that are behind sound. This is TransPerfect. They are one of the biggest in the world right now. So please go into that room and have a chat with them and have a meeting with them. It's a masterclass, actually, a workshop. So they're going to give you specification trainings and all that kind of stuff that you want to hear. All right, so please, technical guys, move to Kano now.
Now, conversation. Now, team, are you here? I think we should have the conversation together, Juma. Everything. There's no time. Is Moses around? Yeah, because. Yeah, but Moses has been waiting. Nile group, are you guys here? Nile group. Mkwan, are you here? Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, can you please come? Yeah. I'm not with him, but I please can you get Moses? Yeah. So Moses, he plays. 15 minutes for the first one.
Okay. All right. Can I stand there? Hello, everyone. Uh, Hello, everyone. All right, cool. I'm very, very aware that we've been listening. There's been a lot to take in. So I'm going to breeze past this, and hopefully you have one or two questions for me. It's great. All right, can we get to the slide, please? The opening slide. Thank you. I hope the sessions we've had so far have been beneficial to us all. I just wanted to take a few minutes to speak about theatrical resilience in Nigeria, particularly with Nollywood and the strategic shifts. That's what I will be going through in the next few minutes. My name is Moses Babatokpe. I am CEO of a new company called Now Media Entertainment Group. Next slide. In the next few minutes, and please, go through the presentation with me as best as possible. We're just going to be looking very quickly at the Nigerian and West African theatrical market. A decade of transformation. The market has gone through transformation, I believe, over the last 10 years. We'll look at what the box office is saying. Box office resilience, that's small. Box office resilience, Nollywood's growing presence. Would also look at local content as a growth engine. Nollywood versus Hollywood. The box office comparison in West Africa and across Africa. And that's a very important slide to pay attention to. We'll also look at the global benchmark, what's happening in other parts of the world. And I think sometimes it's always very good not to be too hard on ourselves and to kind of give ourselves a pat on the back in terms of performance. And why are we always talking about box office? Why are we always talking about cinema? It remains the singular, transparent, I like to say, or near transparent medium of commerce for our industry in terms of people paying, to watch our creative work, people being remunerated and, returning investments for those that invest. So it would always be important. And it's also more important because in terms of modern cinema going, in the last 20 years, we've seen this particular, medium help transform and also help catalyze the industry. And so I think it continues to be important for filmmakers, film enthusiasts to pay attention to what's going on in the space. I think another point why it's important is this is a space that has gone through a lot of disruption, but has also gone through a lot of challenges. And that's why we're talking about the resilience today. Let's move on to the next slide. So what are the things that have gone on from 2004, where our dear friends at Silverbird gave us the first modern cinema in 2004. We've seen box office go up from 2.49 billion in 2015, just 10 years, when we started tracking box office numbers, to 11.58 billion as of last year. As of now, it's 9.9 billion towards the end of August, tracking to about 14 billion this year. That's box office ticket sales alone. So it tells you that something is still going on. There's a resilience about it, and this is against the backdrop of ticket prices going up, against the backdrop of inflation. People are still finding a way to consume the products we give them in cinemas. Of course, there are so many experiences that people have about going to cinemas, and of course, not every film can go to cinemas, but we cannot help but also highlight what's going on in the cinema space. Very important to highlight in this slide is that Nollywood remains a key driver of the growth that we're seeing in the West African theatrical market. Next slide. So for those that are short attention span people like me, it's 20 slides. So I'm going to go very fast. So we've not done too bad in slide 4. So don't worry, but we'll move faster. But I promise you, I think it's just useful nuggets for you to, pay attention to. So 2013 to 2015, we started seeing multiplexes, develop. Between 2004 and 2010, I think it was between 4 and 8 cinemas that we saw. And then from 2013, we saw an explosion of cinemas coming. 2016 to 2019, we saw big budget Nollywood films, relative big budget Nollywood films come out. The Wedding Party, 1 and 2, King of Boys, Chief Daddy, Mary 1 and 2. And in the film parlance, you talk about intellectual property. These films represent that. The films that have been made after them are from those iconic IPs. 2016 was also very important because that was the year we also got validated by the Toronto International Film Festival. Well, is that the word validated? We were recognized for our filmmaking, and I think our films have gone in leaps and bounds since then. 2020 to 2023, very, very interesting segment because that was the period after the pandemic, and the pandemic really threatened to undo a lot of the great successes we've had in the industry. But as you will notice as we go on, in 2024, we've seen a rebound, and that's why we're here to talk about that. Next slide. So here is a table of how we've done since 2015, number of cinemas in 2015, and look at number of cinemas in 2024. 27 versus 103. We've talked about number of the box office, 2.59 in 2015 and 11.58 in 2024, or 2.49, sorry. Admissions, very important to look at. 2.4 million admissions in 2015 and then 2.6 in 2024, and we're hoping to get back to the highs of 3 million. But at some point, we sold 5 million tickets in cinemas in 2019. Another thing to quickly look at, if you look at this quick table, is election years, we struggled with admissions growth, right? 2015, 2019, 2023, you will see a decline in admissions growth. And that's one of the points I'm going to kind of be talking about the kind of challenges that we've faced as an industry and how, in spite of those challenges, we continue to show an upward trend. Next slide. So, over the last 10 years of this transformation we talk about, almost every year there has been something to contend with from in terms of our growth. 2015, election year. 2016, we had a devaluation of the currency. I believe it went from 185 to 500 and came back to 300. It settled. Any business will suffer, not to mention ours that may be seen as more leisure and more discretionary. 2017, real estate challenges in terms of rentals for cinemas. Cinemas are known to be more in malls, but the devaluation of the currency affected things like rent. And it's important for you guys to also know the business side of this, because those are the things that inform a lot of the decisions that are made. 2018, there was calm, but there's always rainy season in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos, that accounts for over 50% of box office. 2019, another election year. Then comes 2020, where we have COVID, right, that literally decimates or threatens to decimate the industry. 7 months, and there was no trading, literally, in the industry. 2021, we're faced with an industry that's doing day and date releases. That means you're releasing in cinemas and you're releasing digitally. That affects everything you've done prior in terms of culture building. And then, as you are trying to get out of it in 2022, the streamers are now doubling down on their investments. So suddenly, a cinema industry that is barely finding funding, to survive, is faced with another platform that is supposed to be complementary, but has brought in dollars into the sector. And that makes it very, very difficult, in terms of the local industry and local cinema going to survive. But one way or the other, it survives. Then 2023, you all know, currency redesign issues, election, subsidy removal, devaluation, all those stuff. 2024, Hollywood is suffering from aftershocks in 2023 of their own content. So we don't have a lot of Hollywood films to show. Therefore, Nollywood has to step in. And yet, in spite of that, we're still at 11.58 billion. I think Nollywood deserves a round of applause. Next slide. And so, how are we doing? Overall box office performance in the first 7 months of 2025. Nollywood is basically doing well. Yes, we want more people to go to the cinemas. Yes, there's been complaints about ticket pricing. Is it sustainable? But I'm here to just present the fact that people are going. I'm here to present the fact that we are very competitive when it comes to Hollywood versus Nollywood, and we're one of the few territories in the world that are as competitive. Certainly in Africa, we're very close second to Egypt when it comes to our local industry, dominating or driving our cinema industry. Let's go on. Next slide. So how have we done? This is just a chart to tell you the kind of percentage performance of Nollywood in the box office. And we are about 45% as of July, and with Hollywood at 54, and then other titles at 1%. The last slide before that also showed in terms of, so this is in terms of box office number, in terms of number of tickets sold, Nollywood is at 49%. So it's aggressive, and again, hence the presentation resilience. Let's move on. And just looking at the Nollywood versus Hollywood percentage, you can see in 2015, 80 versus 20% in terms of box office market share. As of 2025, it's 55, or it's 54, 45, and 1% for other titles. And these are some of the titles that are released by our new company, Now Media Entertainment Group. Next slide. Again, this is a very important slide to look at. Nollywood versus Hollywood. How do we compare across Africa? There's been a debate I've been looking at on social media where there's been a lot of talk comparing Nigerian film industry and South Africa. Here's an interesting stat for you, just looking at national market share of South African films in their market. 1%. Nollywood, 46%. Egyptian films, particularly Egyptian films, travel to Middle East and travel to their diaspora, 56%. So as far as Africa is concerned, Nollywood is very, very dominant with its cinema and its cinema business. And that bodes well for filmmakers in the room, even though we cannot build cinemas fast enough, even though not all films will go to cinemas. If you're a filmmaker, the pride of place for your work is the cinema, all right? So that is a very important start for you to see how we continue to be resilient as a sector. I'm always proud of this, by the way, because even when you talk about music and the music streaming numbers, and compared to what we're doing in film still stands out very, very strongly. If you compare it across any metric. Next slide. Slide 11. So let's look at the global, this is just a table that tells us the key markets around the world. And keep your eyes on places like China and India, where their local markets are very, very strong. Their local industry is very strong. And look at Turkey, France, those are very strong markets. And places like Portugal and the UK. UK consumes a lot of Hollywood content. Some people, by definition, will say because it was shot in the UK, they have a number of studios that qualifies as UK film. But our definition is, with the funding and all of that, and which studio is commissioning, it's more a US film. And you can see the US there at 96%. Next slide. Promise you we're finishing very soon. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, slide 12. And again, Latin America, you can see the Latin American countries, single-digit market share. And then Middle East, Iran is very big. And then you can see Africa that we've gone through. Next slide. And this is just nomenclature around, the key markets and the key markets around the world and how their local industries are, dominating their cinema business. North America, we've spoken about the US and the US films, and we've seen in Asia, India is unashamedly very much Bollywood. China, the same thing. They even have protectionist policies where you have a quota on the amount of films you can bring in. Europe, Turkey is a big market. Poland is a big market for their own films. So there is nothing it's really a thing of pride that despite all our challenges and all our struggles and a lot of the criticisms as well on our filmmaking, we have an audience and they're watching and they're willing to pay top money to watch our films. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So what are the drivers of growth in the Nigerian box office? A return of Nollywood films to the big screen in large numbers. That's something that is driving it. And you can see some of the screenshots from some of those films. Yalo, they released in June by Film One. Everybody Loves Jennifer by Film One December last year. And The Artifact are amongst a host of films that have released over the last 1 year that's driving that. Nollywood is filling the slots of Hollywood because, you know, a number of films were moved, you know, to the future because of their strikes, writers' strikes. Whether we like it or not, there's improved perception of Nollywood by exhibition and generally by people. There is a general perception that things are improving. Yes, there's concerns about the story crafting and all of that, but generally there's you know, thoughts that we're moving in the right direction. Better Nollywood connection with fans, improved storytelling and quality, leading to positive reviews, increased deliberate marketing strategies. Yes, we've been criticized for dancing a lot on TikTok, but hey, it's it's delivering the numbers, and long way we do some dancing. And more corporate people getting involved with Nollywood. Next slide. So, what are the shifts in cinema business and exhibition? We're having more people involved in bulk ticket purchases. We're having innovative release strategies. We're not sitting down and just doing the same thing. We're having to be, you know, dynamic. We're having to be nimble. We're having to make changes where we need to. We're having to use social media very well. Typically, in cinema industries and when you're releasing, you want to have a lot of money for marketing, but we know we're hindered in this side of the world, so we have to use social media as best as possible. And we need to be innovative with how we use social media. Next slide. It's large. Can you reduce the? I'm almost done. Sorry about this. Well, we're practically 2 slides and it's done. It's not showing on the screen. Okay, I'm going to read from here if you don't mind, just to take care of time. So, yes, we're happy, we're bullish as an industry. We think cinema will continue to grow. We think Nigeria is one of those peculiar territories in the world where cinema business will continue to grow despite digital alternatives. We think we're a communal people. We think that we will rethink how cinema is supposed to be and how cinema is supposed to run. But we have genuine concerns. What are the concerns? Concerns that we have too many titles releasing on a week-by-week basis. Concern that there is a tendency to have the Southwest dominate cinema box office than every other part of the country. So what can we do to ensure cinema-going culture is in all parts of the country? There's also concern about growth in cinema locations. It's very, very expensive now to set up a cinema, anywhere between $1 million and $1.5 million to set up a proper mainstream cinema. So what do we do about that? Of course, inflation is an issue. We also have questions about streaming versus cinema and whether it's viable to just go streaming directly, and what value do you get out of cinema if it's very hard and difficult to get into. So what are we proposing? And this is second to the last slide for me. We think that we should invest in more affordable cinemas. We should champion the very definition of cinema business. Does it have to be in malls? If it's not in malls, where in communities can it be? How can we use technology to get people more access? How can we make it more affordable? That's what we are looking at Nile. We also think that we should encourage more ambitious Nollywood storytelling, and that means that we have to take risks and develop new audiences. We need to educate people about the profession of cinema business, all right, so that people can also see it as a proper, viable business. Invest in audience experience, comfort, sound, and pricing. Support niche audiences, which I've said before, and continue to publish data, continue to show transparency, continue to show that there's still something here, there's still something viable. What is the outlook for the cinema business and for the box office, for a filmmaker, for an enthusiast, for the audience? There's growing opportunities in export-ready Nollywood films. So we're seeing more releases in different parts of the world. Very proud to have led a 30-territory release last year with Everybody Loves Jennifer, and we're championing, we're challenging that more. Can we go to more territories around the world with quality Nollywood content? Can we attract more investments into the sector? That's what we're trying to do, and that's why platforms like Nifs are very important for us. Also, we want to also champion and encourage audience development platforms like film festivals and markets like this. My time is up. I hope that you've been able to get one or two things from this presentation. Cinemas are here. They're going nowhere. They're very, very important to your development as filmmakers. They're very important for us culturally as a people. We have a huge opportunity to preserve cinema going and cinema culture. And we have also a bigger opportunity to make it make sense so that we can have leverage when it comes to things like streaming platforms. The healthier your box office is, the leverage you have to be able to say, if I can make this in my market, if you want to take it globally, I think you should pay me better for so and so reason. So thank you for listening. It's been a joy talking to you all. Thanks. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm told we have a cocktail later today, so please join us. Nile cocktail. Right. Please join us. We'd like to interact and connect with you guys. Thank you for the platform. Cheers.
Okay, so your via chat, the conversation is happening. So can your crew just come out, just call them quickly, yeah?
This is happening at this year.
I know. No, take me back to his one. My phone is not. Okay. His one. All right, can we please have the panelists here, please? Okay. While the Now crew are coming out, please be aware that the CSS conversation is also happening about the same time. So it's happening at Isiokpo Hall. So if you want to listen to what they're saying, you need to actually go there right now. So I'm just going to call out one who is going to be present for that one while the Now crew comes out. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I just want to. Okay. So it is the Christian storyteller stakeholders. So we have the speakers. We have Pastor Emmanuel Irene, the founder of Celebration Church International. We have actor Stan Nze, who is here already and heading out. We have the actor Sean Fakwa. I don't know if he's here. There's also Doris Ariole, is the founder of Hadaza TV. We have Ewoma. Ewoma is the founder of Inspired Network and the Kingdom Film Festival. She's out there as well. There's Michelle Ballo, the founder and CEO of Creative Distribution, and Pastor Gideon Mba, who is the lead pastor of Manifold International Church. And then there's Bolanle Olukani, who is a TV host and actress. And everybody I just mentioned have just headed out to Siopo for this session. So if you want to hear this, please go there while we continue with the Now crew here. Thank you. Also, is Ese Akawa here? Ese Akawa is the moderator. Please also meet them at Isiokpo Hall. Thank you. Okay, for the now conversation. For the now conversation, I don't want to confirm if everybody's here. That's Moses and his team. So we'll have Moses, who's already seated. We'll have James Omokwe, okay? Do we have Mary Ephraim? Are you here? She's not here. Is she here? Please come forward. Thank you. Can we also have, thank you. Please do us a favor, guys. Thank you. Okay, do we have Benjamin Eremosale Owobo? Are you here? Fantastic. Thank you very much. And then the moderator is Tolu Shenbore. Shenbore, fantastic. So can we please just welcome them properly, guys? Thank you.
Do we have anyone there? Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yes, we know it's been a very long day of back-to-back panel sessions, so we're going to make this really quick. My name is Tolu Shembore, and I work at Nile Cinemas. I head the business experience department there. The conversation is actually just a continuation from what Mr. Moses has just talked about. He just talked about the entertainment and distribution part of it, and we will be focusing on the cinema part of it. And conversations that we're going to be having is the opportunities in the disruption that we currently experience in the cinema industry. I would say that this is a conversation that I love to have because I feel like I started in this industry as a baby. I immediately got into the industry when I was a copper, when ticket prices were like 500 naira in Ibadan. So, just seeing what it is right now, seeing the challenges that the cinema industry has gone through and seeing where we are now, we know that there are challenges. We know that there's been a disruption, but how do we, leverage on the opportunities that are in the disruption? So to be driving that conversation, I have a lot of experts right here with me. I have Mr. Moses Babatokwe, who is the CEO at the Nile Entertainment Group. I have Mary Ephraim, who is the founder of African Film Finance Forum. And we have James Omokwe, who is a renowned movie maker, filmmaker. And then we have Mr. Benjamin, who is the operations lead at CEAN, the agency that governs the cinema industry. So I'm just going to go right into it. MB, what do you think the cinema needs to be doing? So we have seen that there's been a lot of disruptions, right? And what we have seen is the people responding and reacting to it are usually the movie makers. However, the cinema also has a part to play in this. So where does the cinema come in this new change?
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Again, I have to celebrate everyone for being in the room for this long. Thank you. Actually, I think this is a very pertinent, discussion that we need to have, and we can't shy away. Yes, I've given that presentation of the resilience, but we can't shy away from the changed environment that we find ourselves. It's very different to when you and I were, building our cinemas many years ago. People have alternatives on their laptops, on their, mobile devices. Even, unfortunately, digital piracy is a thing. And therefore, the cinema experience is something that we need to pay particular attention to. Unfortunately, you cannot just mention cinema experience in isolation because the cinema operators also have a challenge to just keep the lights on. So we need to really think the whole business through from scratch, and that comes to the only viable place of doing cinema business is in malls right now. And I say viable because They are the ones that can manage the facilities.
Sustainability.
You know, they're the ones that have the car parks. They're the ones that have the ancillary businesses and all of that kind of stuff. So everything from affordable rent, means that I have a little bit more, on my bottom line that I can reinvest in cinemas. Where you have a cinema operator having a rent charge that is pegged against the dollar. What chance does he have of survival? So I think that's something that we need to look at fundamentally, where the stakeholders, the mall operators, become real partners as opposed to just being landlords. And I think it's very important for our filmmakers to hear these issues that cinema businesses face, and that's why it almost becomes impossible not to increase ticket prices, because you just have to survive. Does that mean we should be complacent? Of course not. So rent is an issue. I think that we need to factor in the social media trends into the cinema experience. We are a social media loving country. So how do we factor that in, to people's cinema going? I think that those are things that we need to look at. I think that do cinemas only have to exist in malls? Can we have viewing centers that have big screen and big sound experiences? I mean, these are amongst a number of things that we need to all start thinking of. The mall experience is nice. The private cinemas, the very high-end ones, are nice. But how can we get more and more people? 2.5 million admissions, 2.6 million admissions last year from a country, or let's say, a addressable audience of, let's even say, 50 million. Right? Not why are we still scratching the surface when it comes to that? So those are the kind of things I feel like we need to look at before I hop mic.
Do you want to say something to that? Okay. All right. So I'm just going to move quickly to the filmmaker. So in all of these evolving trends, right? In all of these evolving trends, while we talk about the experiences that drive or that respond to these changes, the content is also very important, right? So as a filmmaker, people have the access to sit in their homes, be under their duvet, eat amala if they want, right? So as a content maker, what do you think, or how do you think you need to make your films such that people have to come out to see it? They can have access to global content right in their homes. What's going to be done differently that will make them come out to see a movie in cinemas?
Thank you very much. Keyword, key phrase, fear of missing out. And I say this all the time. When you're making a film, you're curating an experience for someone. It's like going to a theme park or going for a party. At the end of the day, you're an active participant in the film that I'm making, and I'm trying to get you to feel. So I want to be able to give you an experience that you will never get anywhere else, which is why for somebody like me who I watch a lot of TV, and I'm basically on everything. Disney, HBO, and each of those platforms have their own kind of curated content that you can't find anywhere else. And so when we look at how to bring people out, how do I create a feeling? How do I give you something that at the end of the day, I know you're not going to find it on YouTube, or I know you're not going to find it on DSTV. The only place for you to find it is if you stand up and come and buy tickets and come to the cinema. I mean, the reason why I would go and watch Fantastic Four is because, again, it's an experience. The experience with the people in the audience, the way people are going to talk about the movie at the end of the day. And I don't want to miss out. And that's a Nigerian thing, because the truth is Nigerians don't like missing out. Case in point, Dirty December. Everybody came home because I saw somebody enjoying themselves on TikTok. Why shouldn't I go to Nigeria? So if we can have that culture or that effect when I make a movie, like the VFX, the story, I want people to talk about it. I want to tease you for 3 months. And I want you to come and see it in the cinema, and there's nowhere else. So it's really, how do I get you out? By creating an experiential thing for you that you will never get anywhere else. And it's with the story, the music, the sound, the actors, right? And even just the fanfare of me marketing the film. I'm giving you trailers, teasers, giving you BTS pictures because I'm telling you that if you don't watch this thing, you're a rotten potato. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm gonna have direct my next question to you, Mary. The film tech and film finance space is relatively, I won't say new, but maybe not as tapped as it should be. With the evolving trends, film technology is very important, and film finances as well. And when we talk about financing, we talk about it in regards to the content, filmmakers. Now we're talking about industries, how like cinema industry. How does the cinema industry actually benefit from film funding? So, in regards to the amount of cinemas that we have currently is really not enough for the amount of people that we have. In what way do you think film financing can influence the cinemas directly?
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Niall, for inviting me to this panel. I think that basically I would say that the cinema has benefited from being financed already. Most of the cinemas have been financed by the banks and investors and all that, because just like Moses said, it's very expensive and even more expensive now to set up a cinema. So most of the cinemas actually, were funded by loans and investors as well, investing in them. But I guess the question is, how do we expand and how do we attract more funds into it? And really, what are the funders looking for? They're looking for return on investments. So they want to be able to see that this is an industry that when they put money in it, they'll get money back. Unfortunately, well, let me not use the word unfortunately. We are in an environment where the other day I was listening to Jeff Bezos, and he was talking about why America has so many billionaires and why it seems like their businesses get to do very well in such a short time and go into the billion marks and all that. That's because they have risk capital. They have capital that is willing to wait. They have capital that is willing to even take the risk on a 10% chance of it even making, But here, there's a lot of the capital that we have is not necessarily as patient. It's not developmental in its core. And I'm not saying all, but we don't have as much capital that is focused on making sure that the industry expands, of course, while making its return. So that's, I guess, where we are at in trying to get the finance space to appreciate what it takes to build this industry as to what it takes to just make a movie and make quick money. Those movies ride on a platform, and the platform needs to be built, which is the infrastructure, right? And that's why we're very right now we're talking a lot more about infrastructure, distribution, and then of course production as well. But we're also highlighting on the fact that it's not just funding content, and we have so much content and nowhere to exploit those contents, as you just said, you talked about reach. Movies is about reach at the end of the day. If we're still scratching the surface in terms of the numbers, about maybe 2 million plus now in the cinemas, when we have about 50 million or 100 million people to reach. So how do our movies reach, or through the cinemas, through different digital infrastructure, etc. Right? So by the time the numbers start to, it's pretty much like a chicken and egg situation. Which one comes first? The money needs the returns needs the money. So I guess it's more of trying to really get the finance space to appreciate where we are at, the growth that we have attained with nothing or with very little, and how we can actually, get more if they invest. There's more investment into the space. And then you were talking about film tech. Yes, film tech is relatively what I even say new terminology and a new concept, but it's really helping the application of technology in helping the industry, whether from, and it's not related to only production or specific, it's across all value chain really. So you find film tech bringing solutions like you have in payments, in cash payments. You have film tech bringing solutions in production aspects, in things like script writing, film coverage. You have film tech providing, solutions around even production itself, and the amplification of certain aspects to production. So film tech cuts across, and I think it's something that would really help the industry. It could also help in cutting the cost of, say, production or the cost of managing certain aspects of the industry.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go straight back to Mr. Moses Babatope. So right now, with the evolving changes, we see that cinema is more than film. So what else do we need to explore to keep that industry benefiting from whatever the disruption is, aside just film?
Okay, I think we're in programming territory. We're talking about just like any platform you have. You want to ensure that you are with the times and you're listening to what the audience also wants to see, and such that we're also not copying for copying's sake. In the West, they've tried episodes of TV series that has worked. People have tried big gaming experiences. I think it's important to find what will work in this environment. Would a very well recorded, very well put together stage show work in cinemas? I think it could, because we have kind of theater as something that, whether it's church, whether it's in your community or your village, there's some kind of theater background. And I feel like if there was something that was developed and kind of shot for cinema, that would be very, very interesting. I would like to see something like that work. I would like to see comedy specials. We've tried it again because I think there is a culture of going out, to be entertained with such material. So that kind of stuff should also be looked into. I would also like special events, live events, for example. If there was technology and a big Afrobeat star was performing somewhere, and there's a way people could experience it in 3D or experience it in one of the large formats. And again, it's not just about copying what has been done in the West. How do we make it palatable to a Nigerian audience? That would make it enjoyable. That would make you feel like I'm not in that environment, but I feel connected, right, to what's going on. So I think there's a range of things we can do. If you ask me, I don't think we've optimized what cinema is for, and primarily is film. Yeah. I think that we should do our best to really get people reinterested in coming to cinemas to watch film. And as we grow that, then we begin to broaden and diversify the kind of content we show there.
Well, I just wanted to add, I totally agree with Moses. I've actually experienced where I went to cinema, although it was out of the country, but there was a show, it was Christmas time, and there was actually a show about the movie. So the movie had a show. The same movie, it actually had a little bit. So imagine if you had a Nigerian movie that had some excerpts of some, let's say it was an epic film, and then it had some cultural, and then you now create the theatrical aspect of it, and it was really interesting because it was connected to the film. So it was a pre-show before the film, and it just made the film even more interesting for us to watch. And cinema is about exclusivity, right? If it's not exclusive, people are not going to feel like. And when I say exclusivity, I'm not talking about the cinema itself. The content that you come to see at the cinema needs to have some level of exclusivity, which means you can't find it anywhere else except you come to the cinema, right? So, if you're able to give modern film, right, and give a holistic experience of what is entertainment or what could be entertaining for people, it will definitely, create a point people to the cinema as the choice for certain content. And I always like to think that cinema is not an option to TV, and TV is not an option to cinema. They are all different experiences, right? So it's pretty much going to the cinema has to have that level of exclusive what I'm going to see there. No, I can't see it anywhere else. I can't meet people anywhere else. I can't have, well, even from the food to the, to where else. But these days you can find popcorn everywhere. Those days all you can find was popcorn in cinemas. So even the popcorn needs to change. What kind of popcorn would you find in the cinema that you can't find anywhere else? So kind of just evolving, like you said, but making it very relative to our environment. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm just going to go straight to you, Benjamin. With all of the responses and the newness in the cinema industry, the Cinema Exhibitors Association, I want to know what are the strategies that we're looking at to ensure that, with the economic constraints, with people's access to these global content, right? What strategies is the CEN putting in place to ensure that we actually get opportunity out of this rather than, it being a challenge for
Okay.
the cinema industry?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for the now team for having me. Interesting question. We're at a crossroads, to be honest, in the industry. We're facing a level of disruption that is, I mean, it has not been experienced before, right? There has been a lot that has been said, right? There are certain challenges that are ideally systemic that the industry is facing, right? We at CN, we're trying to address some of these issues, to improve the opportunities that operators can have. Now, I'll just run you through a couple of challenges that we face in the industry. One of these issues is the issue of multiple taxation, right? A lot of cinemas encounter the fact that they have to deal with multiple taxation on different tiers, right? From the federal to state to local agencies and all of these things, right? And oftentimes on the same revenue stream, right? It makes business really difficult. It makes ticket prices more expensive. It makes it difficult to invest in the business of cinema, It makes it difficult for people to even want to come because obviously with the rising cost of ticket prices, people will be a bit dissuaded and will try and turn towards the more convenient platform, so to speak, right? By the end of the day, cinema is about the experience, right? So we're trying to ensure that we get, the right bodies involved, right, that can help to improve and incentivize investment, first of all, in cinema business, right? Incentivize, giving some level of tax breaks, for new cinema construction, some duty waivers on imported cinema equipment, like the projectors that you have, the sound systems. These things don't come cheap, So if you can have some level of tax breaks, rebates, this would really help, the cinema industry in terms of investment, expansion, and operation. So this is one of the challenges that we're facing, and it's really important that we also have some level of targeted fiscal incentives, that cinema operators can have access to. So this is one of the things that we're actually trying to work towards availing operators, this opportunity. Also, and this is a problem that I feel like it cuts across the entire value chain, which is strengthening, the laws in terms of the legislative laws that talk about intellectual property. It is something that plagues the entire value chain of the cinema business. In fact, from filmmakers to distributors to the exhibitors, it affects them. Now, kudos to the NCC. The Copyright Act of 2020, fabulous, and all of that. Where the problem is enforcement, right? So we need to be able to work closely with the NCC and other stakeholders in the industry to improve, to really make sure that enforcement is top of mind and is carried out as effectively as possible.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm gonna go to you, the filmmaker. So you have a film coming in to cinemas, right? And we have seen what the taste of the audience has changed. Even the terrain of marketing the films have changed, right? However, with how the cinema is growing and with these changes in, audience requirements, the economic constraints, how do you think this would affect your film that is going to cinemas?
I mean, so even from the get-go, and Moses is here and he's been fantastic. The Nile team had been fantastic. One of and this is me being honest, the first time when we were making this film, personally in my mind, not the EP's mind, in my mind I was like, we are definitely not going to the cinema. We're doing Netflix or something, right? And obviously that's the thing that happened. And I and the EP had a conversation and we decided, we were going to do this in the cinema. So I'm quite aware that, purchasing power is different, people's hunger, everybody wants to stay at home to watch film. So what we're trying to do is to employ new strategies in marketing. So again, the Nile team knows we've been marketing for 3 months. And we decided to do a marketing campaign, to let people know there's a film coming out. One of the things that we've noticed already is when people want to make a film, they start talking about the film 3 weeks before it's showing in the cinema. Not a lot of people would know what's going on. Heck, Superman, people were talking about Superman 6 to 7 months before it came out. So you need time to convince people. Convincing is the word. Why should I leave the comfort of my home and pay X amount to come and watch your film? So even from the get-go, we already knew that I don't want to deceive people and tell people to come and watch this great film, and by the time you've seen 3 minutes, you're already abusing my grandfather while you're leaving. No, I want to give you a good experience, but I have to convince you about that. So yes, we know that the cinema culture has changed. It used to be very different. Just like you said, I was in University of Lagos. I used to walk to Ozone to go and watch films for 500 a pop. Do you get? Now, I remember I took my kid to go see Superman. I probably spent like 20-something K. And I was scratching my head on top cinema tickets. But again, I understand the constraints. So now we understand the game is convincing. So do a good product, hopefully convince people to come and see. And apart from that, we're also looking at, like other avenues to, distribute the film. Again, and I don't know if this is something Moses will talk about, we are no longer, I don't think people are really just focusing on Nigeria and Ghana or somewhere else. There's a whole diaspora of people who want to see, our films. And I think that opens up new possibilities. We're in France the other day when we showed the film to a group of people, and there are people that will be telling you things like, oh, they've never seen a film, an African film done by Africans. What they see is films done by Westerners. And I'm looking at you and I'm like, but you have Netflix now. Yeah, but then they don't know. And so it's our job to continue to convince them. And so, yes, we have a lot of work to do with convincing. We know that there are new markets opening up and we're trying to take advantage of it. we're trying to look outside of the box, and because we know the disruption is here, and so how do we take advantage of convincing more people home and abroad that there's a film called Osamede to go and see? And by the way, shameless plug, October 17th, come and watch Osamede in the cinema,
Plug it in.
distributed by Nile. If you don't come, I'm watching you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So while we wrap this up, I will just direct this to you, Mary. With the evolving change, what would you say is the biggest untapped financial opportunity in cinemas? In cinemas.
Not the entire
yeah,
value
pretty
chain.
much.
That's an interesting question. I think you should be asking Moses that.
He can help.
Can I call a friend? Well, why I'm saying him, because I'm a distributor. That's my background, and he's more in cinema, and I do know cinema a bit because, of course, I deal with it. But I think that the basically what we need is more cinemas, and we don't want to sound like broken records, but that's the truth, because film is about reach, and the more people you reach, the more money. It's economics of scale, right? And in a situation where you're not meeting that economics of scale, then it becomes more expensive for the few, for the little. So I think the opportunity is just more cinemas, and maybe things like franchising, bring it, because there is money. There are people who want to be in the business but not do the business, all right, because they don't have the expertise. They feel that this is very technical. It requires someone who's in it. So I think that within cinemas there is the opportunity of doing a lot more franchising and actually expanding our reach, and that would also help producers to also reach more territories. Yeah. And when I talk about franchising, Nigeria is not the only territory that our cinemas should go to, because a chain of cinemas, if someone owns a chain of cinemas, of course, economy of scale still prevails and also gives the opportunity of better returns on investment. So that allows for, and I'm not saying that single cinemas don't also work, but I'm just saying, in respect to how financing would look at it, if you're looking at it from a big ticket scenario, you would want to go with a brand that has chains of, and it doesn't all have to be owned by the brand, So I would say that franchising to expand quickly, and get more non-cinema owners into the business could be an opportunity. Yeah, but like I said, I'll call a friend.
All right. So I know you're gonna, just so that we can wrap up.
Yes, to wrap up. I think that, the way Nigeria is even structured, and somebody said it before, and I don't think it was lazy maths or lazy work to say 774 local governments have secretariats, have spaces in them that can become communal screening centers. There's technology now, right, that you can achieve, big screen, big picture, and get it all set up well, and content can be delivered in a secure way. And you can even ensure that payments and all of that can be done transparently, and is who has the patience and who has that passion to see cinema go to the grassroots. I think that's the one that really, it's not about winning, but that's the one that unlocks, the potential in the industry. And when that happens in Nigeria, trust me, it becomes a template for the rest of Africa. We at NAL, I'm happy to say we've started piloting with our friends at Film Hub, a tech company, where we did something with Cafe One in select cities in the country, and the idea is also to go and kind of to identify these centers that are secure, can be easily got into, and literally films that go to cinema, you don't need to cannibalize the cinema. After 4 to 6 weeks or 8 weeks, they can come to these communal screening centers for a fraction. People can watch and have a great time, and cinema becomes more inclusive and critically becomes commercially viable for not just the cinema owner, but just the content provider as well, and the content owner.
Thank Thank you. I think you've said it all. Thank you everyone for listening. I don't know if we have time for questions. Maybe one or two.
Okay, maybe
Okay. So we can just accommodate a few questions.
One, okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I have like two questions. The first has to do with exclusivity for cinemas. Mr. James spoke about he needs the FOMO effect for movies to sell. And for us to build that FOMO effect, like you have to train audiences or show them that the movie is going to be exclusive in theaters for a number of weeks or a period of time. I know that right now the streaming has reduced, so we don't have those issues. But even as early as last year, we had a movie. I don't really want to mention the particular movie, but immediately after its 5 weeks run, it went directly to Prime. So what are we doing as exhibitors or as industry stakeholders to actually build that exclusivity windows and ensure that movies have a theatrical run before they move on to other platforms? The second question would be to Mr. Benjamin, because I know he's with the CEAN. For the past 2 years, we've had Cinema Day. We had one in 2023. We had one in 2024 last year, and they've been very successful. So are there any plans for having a Cinema Day this year as well? So those are my questions. Thank you.
So I think Ben can answer both questions. Should I do the first one?
I mean, you can do the first one.
Okay. I think that we've done well as an industry, again, relatively young, to protect the windows, as we call it, the theatrical window. We never had something formalized for the whole industry, but a few months ago, the Film Distributors Association of Nigeria, Mary's secretary of that, I'm secretary of the Association of Cinemas, Cinema Exhibitors Association of that, we decided to come together to agree on a window for films that are released theatrically. So if you have released in Nigeria, we expect an 8-week exclusivity, with cinemas. Once you agree that you're coming out to release in cinema, then it has to be an 8-week exclusivity. Does that mean that your film has to stay in cinemas for 8 weeks? No. It just means that it cannot be on any other platform for at least 8 weeks. It's important to preserve, that value to the audiences and that value that you want to see it. And it also kind of puts the onus back on the filmmaker and the distributor to ensure they market it as best as possible so that you make use of that window as best as possible. We've seen films that have, launched over 8 weeks. I've done 12 weeks. Even one has done up to 16 weeks, right? So there is that rule in place, and your distributor should be telling you that once you commit to releasing this film, you're committing to 8 weeks. Now, we're all praying for a second coming of the streamers and a big boom and all of that, and it's going to be great for the industry. It's also important for us that should that boom come or should that second coming happen, we still need to protect the windows, because that's where there'll be, challenges to why, if I'm out in 3 weeks and 4 weeks, why should I, stick to 8 weeks? And it's important as an industry that we need to enforce that window, because nobody held your hands to want to come and release in cinema. And you also know the value of cinemas. And I think I need to make this point. Beyond just the monetary value you get from cinema has other intangible values, like, to you as a filmmaker, like the profile of your film and even your profile as a filmmaker, that sometimes money cannot buy, right? For example, a lot of people don't know, once you release your film in the UK, and I'm not using this to plug releasing in the UK because we also don't like to release films that don't do well there, but releasing your films in the UK, for example, in key cities in the UK, you qualify to enter your film for the BAFTAs because you would have a 7-day run. And these are things that, are very invaluable. You qualify for some type of awards. So these are things that, again, beyond money, the profile that it does for you, and that's why it's important for us to continue to keep the exclusivity and continue to keep it, prestigious.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Just to add a bit to what you said, I think it's really important that we continue to promote this hybrid release model that we've seen taking shape in recent times, right? Films theatrical runs should be protected and prioritized. Let the cinemas continue to be that launch pad, for content, and then we should be able to ensure, and this is one of the things that, like Mr. Moses just said, we're working towards, to ensure that films have a good theatrical run, a stipulated time to say, okay, this is how long you can be, in the cinemas, and have maintained that exclusivity before, we've in the cinema already. You've already created the buzz. You've already done a bit of valuable marketing for the other convenient guys, right? So at the end of the day, they just have a finished product that they can easily put on their platforms. And to answer your second question, yes, it's in the pipeline. We're actually working on it. It will be announced in the next few weeks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much to the panelists, and thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us.
Okay, so time for pictures, please. Thank you. What? We're not questioning anymore. We need to have the last session, please. Is it a quick one? All right. Can you make it very snappy?
I wanted to know what you're doing for kids on the mainland, because I know Nile did something on the island and it's like a holiday package. But for those of us on the mainland, what are your plans? And then are there also plans for reduced ticket prices, maybe during morning bell, to attract children, families, school kids, and that way you're not just having empty halls all the time. Mr. Amparu spoke about 100 naira everything. Is that something you're going to also trial with smaller sizes and lower prices? If not, we'll just keep saying the same thing, that ticket prices are 8K, because if Oga here, Mr. Mokwe, can be complaining that 20-something K for his kids, then imagine, other people. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tolu, that question is for you.
Okay, so thank you very much. I know that we launched the Nile Kids Club on the island, but it's definitely coming to the mainland. Also, one thing that we're doing currently, we currently even have a promotion where ticket prices are 3,000 naira at our cinemas morning till night. So every blockbuster, go to our cinemas at Nile Ikota. It's coming to the mainland soon, but right now, Ikota is on the island. It's just Lekki Phase 2. Yeah. So again, it's coming soon to the. We're rolling this out to see how it does, and then we would replicate. So where we have like happy hour, family packages, so we have all of that in the works. But I can tell you that because we also know that it's important for us to test this out, is why we currently have. If you go anywhere on the island, average ticket prices are 7K, 6K, and we are selling at 3,000. Even new releases, so there's nothing to it. So it's something that we're considering.
Sorry, I know you're in a rush. Isabella, I think great point you make. 100 naira probably would not work now to meet our bills. But we want to work on a variety of packages, including that morning belt you talk about, because it's inventory that is not used. And it's finding the marketing, communication, and language that gets people in and gets them getting value for what they come in. And so we're exploring a number of things on that. The Kids Club, again, I guess, you have to try these things. Is that we've tried them before, and sometimes people don't turn up and all of that kind of stuff. But at Nile, we want to really, kind of challenge all the things that have not been probably done before or properly done before. And so hopefully we're seeing some good results with what we're doing on the island. So let's hope that the mainlanders respond. And so check our websites and social media. This one I'm plugging in, please. help now to have year two to celebrate.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Olu. Thank you. Okay, can we please just do something very well for them? Clap for them properly, please. Thank you. Thank you. And for the last session today, we have the MQuan Conversations. They're looking at the perspectives of TV content owners. For this, we have Alain De Stephen. He's the MCON General Secretary. Can you please come forward? Thank you. Adeola Dada, the MD and CEO of Charis Media Consulting. Can we have Sebastian Okoromi, the MD, Romerstein Media Limited. Okay, also the CEO and producer director, Key Nigeria Limited. The moderator for this session is Kingsley Omoefe. He's also a filmmaker and the CEO of Golden Heritage Limited. Can we please welcome them, encourage them as they come forward for this final session today? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, once again. Welcome to MQuan Conversations. So a couple of persons, my friends, have been asking me, Kingston, where have you been? Where have you been? And right, I've been doing a lot of TV, terrestrial TV, local TV. My program runs in over about 18 stations across the nation on local TV. Just that to put us into conversation, know that the local TV stations are still working. There's business still running there, and there's an association that have a lot of people who produce for local TV stations. If you look at every state in Nigeria, we have at least 3 TV stations who supplies content for those people, who takes care of those people. So I have very experienced people, members of MQuan here to deal with those situations that we have right now. First, I want to talk to Steve Alayode. Now, we see that storytelling, our production basically have been based on storytelling as an industry, but things are beginning to change right now. People are beginning to move from watching local TV to streaming platform. We have advertising spend going down every day and every now and then and all that. How have you been able to survive the situation, like evolve from this situation? Are you trying to evolve from this situation that we find ourselves right now?
Thank you. My name is Alain De Stephen. I'm the General Secretary of MQuan. MQuan is Electronic Media Content Owners Association of Nigeria. Pretty much the CEOs of production company, talking about content on TV, online, and on radio. And that association has been for over 15 years, to protect and the welfare of members and stuff like that. So basically, we have to evolve because there's a changing culture, there's a shift, and the shift, has come to stay. And for every association, for every businessman who wants to survive, in his or her field, you need to change with time. In terms of changing with time, you look at the dynamics, you look at, being a traditional, TV content, provider, and seeing what is obtainable now digitally. You have to be technologically driven. You have to be savvy in terms of how you produce. There's the multi-platform now. Gone are the days where we wait for NTA by 4 p.m., before you start seeing anything, national anthem before, and all that. So things are changing. People are not just watching on TV again. There are so many platforms to which people can watch. So as a producer, we are not limiting ourselves to TV alone. Like you mentioned, the advertising spend is a key factor. But the point is that where are our target audience now? Who are you talking to? Wherever they are, you must produce content for them. Whatever platform, whatever channel, whatever vehicle to which they want to consume this content, you must get there. We are gradually shifting from content as the king. Content is no longer the king alone. Content is still the king, but the consumer are also a king. So we have double king in the space now. So we have to recognize that and begin to do research to know what the audience wants, to know, create a community and engaging your audience as you churn out your content. Thank you.
Steve. This is Dada, please. What does evolving to survive mean to you as a TV producer?
Okay, it means equipping yourself with the right information, with the right skill, with the right technology, so that you can meet the demands and the expectations of your target audience. So in doing this, you need to have the right technological know-how, because you have like AI now, you have data analytics in helping you to do your production. So many people are using AI now in editing, in cinematography. So you have to be up to date with what all these technological advancements can do for you. So another part of it is when you evolve, you're able to have the knowledge of how you can distribute your content more effectively. You understand? Like using YouTube, TikTok, so that you can meet your audience and your viewers where they are. They don't have to come to you like in those days on terrestrial TV that you have to get to a TV before you can see a content. You can meet them where they are on their mobile phones, like when you stream your content online on YouTube, on TikTok. So that's another way a producer evolves. Another way you can evolve is giving your content a global appeal by translating it, by subtitling it into different languages, like French, like Swahili, and all that. So with that, you are able to, to give it a global appeal. So another way you are able to evolve is also through putting your content in different formats. Not necessarily, if you have a series, like you've produced like 26 episodes, 56 episodes, it doesn't have to be, some people find it boring, like they have a low span of attention. They can't stay in a place for 30 minutes, 1 hour to watch just a single episode. You can put it into web series format. You can put it into short reels and all that. So that's how you evolve as a producer.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Just like my colleagues have said, as technology is evolving, we producers, you have to follow up. You have to follow in tune of what is happening, because if you don't, it will consume you. You don't have choice than to expand your horizon. You have to because technology is so fast that you have to move with that speed in terms of trying to create so many avenues in terms of distributing your content. You have to go to, just like my colleague said, you have options of dubbing your content. Then you have different platforms, because one good thing about series is that the lifespan of series is much better than that of movies. There are some of my content that I produced about 15 years, 16 years ago. I'm still making some little residual business on it and all that. So the most important thing is for you to make sure in production, do the right thing, do what is right in terms of your quality of your production and in terms of your the story itself and all that. And make sure you follow the tab of what is happening technologically and all that. Believe me, it's a question of time. With such avenues of opportunities of meeting people, you keep on expanding those opportunities. So definitely the point we are in now, you must come out, you must follow the technology, you must know what is happening, and you must exchange notes with people for them to give you, I mean, by the time you talk with, like Doc, we were discussing about something in Kano. So you keep on exchanging notes because that's the point you need to do so that you move to the next level you are going. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We need to evolve for us to grow, basically. So I was just still on okay. Let's look at the situation right now. I know you've been producing for more than 15 years as a TV producer. What is different? What's different now between now and that when you started?
Honestly, then, like advert spend was more in terms of you have few producers that are in that space. So sometimes you have these sponsorship deals here and there, and even outside the country, there are a whole lot of opportunities. You have more then, you know. So most of the guys then use that opportunity to do one or two things in terms of cash because definitely there was days the likes of Unilevers and other we even approach you through agencies. In fact, most times they will be the one that come and negotiate deals with you. But now, you know what is happening in the agency. You have to beg, you have to, even when you have the right thing and all that, you still have to go through the process of almost begging agencies to actually advertise into your platform and all that. So definitely, it's much difficult now. There are more people into the system, but not to say that they kind of ended this thing. There are still a whole lot of things that are happening and coming up and all that. It's for you to just study and look at your own web where you feel you can operate and operate very well. But just what is consistent is make sure you do the right thing. At any point in time, do the right thing. You know. But I think with other more platforms that are coming out, because then you don't have some of these platforms. You have a majority terrestrial, DSTV. What we are doing, get your content, sell to DSTV. After selling to DSTV, then maybe put it in your own platform like TV and all that. Maybe if you have some of us that have opportunity, maybe traveling to South Africa for this cup, you sell there. And some other people that don't have that link, you just end there. But now, you know, you have more platform and all that, but it's more difficult right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, you want to add to it?
Yeah,
Please
I would
go
like
ahead.
to add to that.
Great.
Like many years back, 5-10 years ago, and now is as in things have gotten much better, even in the mode of collection of these terrestrial stations.
Right.
And a lot of them are switching from analog to digital. So like I recall some, as in like 8-9 years back, when anytime we wanted to submit our content to some of these terrestrial
DVD
stations,
and all
you will
that.
have to submit through
DVD
DVD and all that.
and send
So
to Korea
exactly,
and all that.
you will send them your delivery guy maybe to their office in Lagos,
yeah,
and
then.
God help you if the person carrying it has gone. You will have to send it through Ife Sidachi or one car park for them to take it to the States. Maybe it's Jos, maybe it's
Maiduguri
Benin.
or something.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but right now, at the comfort of your office, you
can
can
just
just
send
send a mail, attach your program and send it. So a lot of things are, things are getting more advanced now, and it's making it more easier for the producer.
Absolutely. I think it's a better situation now that you have to send your content online to these stations. Like she said, like 10, 12 years ago, when you tell the stations you want to send your program online, they will say, no, you have to send through DVD. Who would do that? But today, you can send all this content online to all these different stations. I want to still stay with you, Mr. Dada. What are the biggest challenges that we face as local TV producers right now? Is it advertising, funding, or challenges from streamers, or challenges from your members or other producers?
Okay, I think the main challenge is funding. When it comes to competition and all that, so far you find your own niche and you do well at it, you give it the best quality, your viewers will find you, your audience will find you. But when it comes to funding, you understand, I remember when I produced my series, I did all the funding myself. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. You know, it's not easy for the producer when you have to go out how to use, you know, your capital to fund a project. So the challenge, the biggest challenge for me actually is funding.
Okay, let me talk to Steve now, right? I've not seen any producer within MCON that doesn't use his own money to produce their content, true or true.
That doesn't
Use another person's money. They use their own money to produce. Is there any person that uses another person's money to produce?
Yes, I think it still boils down to funding, like she said, and the fact that there's a mentality and the cultural belief that my thing is my thing. Globally, collaboration is big, and we seems not to get to that stage here. Far back as 14, 15 years ago in South Africa, when we were shooting Lincoln's Clan in South Africa, of course, we're licensing to Africa Magic, you know, collecting dollars and all that. We saw the need. They started Africa Magic in Zamzi. Big, all our Nollywood stars were so big in South Africa. They can practically mention all their names, yet they don't have a platform over there. So they started in Zamzi. When they started in Zamzi, whatever content just bring in, I think it's about 120,000 rands then. So what we did was that as Nigerians were shooting and practicing in South Africa too, we saw the need to collaborate with South Africans because without them, you can't access that fund. We saw the importance of collaboration. We then to wanting to do things all alone. So it's part of the problem. As the world is evolving, we saw it within the Nollywood space, specifically when a wedding party broke, you know, about 4 different companies coming together, you know, so we should also, you know, begin to evolve to assess such thing. If you have this, if I have this, put funds together, let's do a big project, not just do one small 26 episode, 52 episode, something that can travel, something that can go beyond, you know, what we have. So funding is key, but we must begin to change our pattern because the population is agile now, young population. They want to see something new. Our stories are being well told now. They want to see themselves, you know, in terms of what stories we are churning out. So the challenges are there, but they are not enough for us not to make good money. It's a good time to be a content producer.
Thank you very much, Steve. One key thing that you spoke about was collaboration. I remember years ago, myself and 3 other producers, we came together to form a company called 441, you know, where we put things together. If I have cameras and you have location boards and grip and all that, have lighting, I can direct and all that. So put things together. So when I'm shooting, when I'm on location, the other 3 members of the team are not on location, so they commit everything that they have to my production. So when the next person is shooting, we commit everything that I have to this. So I think we can still achieve a lot with that kind of model today and all that. Let me just still stay with you, Steve. Still talking on local TV, terrestrial TV stations and all that. Do we still have audience? Are people still watching our content on terrestrial TV?
Yes, we do. There's still audience out there. And of course, the advertising spend is getting, thinner every other day. But importantly, what the situation is that we do not have enough facilities to begin to have, database and to have, audience measurements to say that we have spent so much on this. How do we measure in terms of, client has put up money to say this is what you are spending. They want to see, a commensurate, effort from return on investment. But I think we've been going back and forth over digital switchover. DSO has been, this is the 3rd DG of NBC, still singing the same song, like the 3rd minister. I think started even before Alhaji Lai Mohammed. And we are still, dancing around the same circle. Because even as far as Namibia, Gambia, Ghana, they've moved. no longer, playing the analog space. They've moved digitally. So this is going to help us as a country. Audience measurement gives us the opportunity to begin to note specifically the eyeballs, how many people are watching, where, from where, and all these things. And we have said this repeatedly. In South Africa, the advertising spend is more. Why? They can go back and put 1 and 2 together to say, these are the people that have watched, these are the people that have done this, database. And that's where we need to begin to go to. In terms of people still watching, yes, there is that. We don't just assume that all starts and ends in Lagos. If you leave Lagos, leave Port Harcourt, leave Abuja, forget to the whole 32, 36 states. Now, still NTA, local TV, they are still watching. And that's millions of people. So putting your advert, putting your content, they are hitting it raw. So eyeballs are still there. What do we do to get across to them?
I can see, Hitching to speak to you. Please go ahead.
Honestly, the truth of the matter is that even in USA, terrestrial TV is still there. Here in Nigeria, just like Steve said, most times we always have this kind of thinking that TV, movies, and everything start and ends in Lagos. It's not true. You will be shocked that when you go to Gombe, when you go to Plateau, all those villages and all that, the way they pay attention to TV, the way they pay attention to all this drama, the way, doctor, you are from Kano, you understand what I'm saying? They know the way they pay attention to all those things, they still watch. Then come to even the economy. Economy has made a whole lot of things in Nigeria now, even in Lagos. If you check this hall now, you know how many people that have subscribed to DSTV for the past 1 year now. Let's truth be told, most of all these internet this thing now have taken over. And that's the reason why DSTV they are fighting very hard to get back their their subscribers and all that. So the truth of the matter is that in as much as we know the fact that there's a wave, there's a technology blowing, we should be very prepared for that. But that does not take the fact that there is still a whole lot of eyeballs in terrestrial space. There's no that even the whole Africa in the world, there's still a TV spend all over the world. So the main thing is that while we are grabbing what is still there, at the same time, we'll be intentional about the movement, because definitely some of our, thank God, even all these fast channels and so many other options, TV series and all that will still be very, very available in those streams and all that. So it's as if even if you move terrestrial, right, TV producer is gone. No. Even YouTube and all that. So you still have all those, but the main thing is for you to be prepared for that movement and all that. That's all.
Right.
But terrestrial TV is still very, very on in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I can confirm that, yes, people are really watching. The couple of agencies that called me, like 3 agencies that called me recently and saying that I should send my rates, that they want to buy into my station. Like I said, I do 18 stations right now, and I have advert across the 18 stations, meaning that people are watching, meaning that they are getting value for their money and all that. And most of these stations are actually in the north, right? North and Bayelsa, Warri, and all that. So places like that. So people are watching a lot, and it's not just regular product we're talking about big brands. See, because like my friend usually say, Nigeria is a sachet economy. So must treat people, because we have a lot of people who are in the mass market. So how do we reach out to them? It's still through that local TV stations and all that. So I think we need to do more for us to keep the audience. Steve, what practical steps are you actually taking to keep audience? Talking about you as a person now, or to keep audience to watching your own program and all that.
Thank you. Like I said the other time, that the audience, the consumer, are now king. They are co-king with content. And the earlier we realize that, the better for us. The mentality that I have this idea, I have these beautiful concepts, and I want to shoot it, irrespective of what the audience wants. Those errors are gradually fading away. You must create a community engaging your audience. As your program is running on TV, on TikTok, on social media, engage them, even with some little, stipends and what have you. Engage them. Get to know who is watching, where are they watching from. They will even suggest the next drama series you have to produce because they are the one that is driving us. They will tell us what to do. The era of I have this idea and what have you. Because oftentimes as creatives, we tend to dream, sleep with our ideas and whatever it is, we want to just produce that. For who? You must understand that the audience, you must get your audience even before, production stage. Part of it too is to critically examine and take advantage of product placement. Before you shoot your drama, you need to look at drama, talk show, product placement. How can I maximize this product? It will be subtly infused into your storyline and all that. And when you are doing that, all your actors, you must ensure that it is embedded in the written MOU with them. Otherwise, you just bring Indomie, bring this and say, for waiting now. When did we sign this? So you can make more money. So there are a lot of ways to which we are evolving and to sustain as it is. But like I mentioned, beyond just TV, beyond the art on TV, what other ways? There's YouTube, there are the OTT platforms, and what have you that we can maximize in terms of making money.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Steve. Still talking about the audience now. Let me come to you, okay? How do you balance your budget with the audience asking for higher quality? Because you need a lot of money to increase your budget. Because we're talking about keeping our audience now. For us to keep our audience, we need to grow from the way we used to shoot before, increase quality and all that production design, acting, directing, equipment, light, and everything. How do you balance that? Thank you.
Just like we said, good soup in Nigerian palace, na money maker.
Right.
And there's no gainsaying that for you to do a quality job, you have to get the right equipment. There's no two way about it. Even if you are not using red, for example, you still have some good black magic, 6K and all that you have to use. Like when the sound guy was talking in, I think, Ruth Kadri's session or something, in as much as he was dragging the talk, the thing is that you must have very good sound engineer when you're working. The same thing with lighting and all that. So all the necessary, because the issue of going for summits, conferences is for you to learn and unlearn and all those things, because most times you have master classes and all that, just like there's the sound master class and all that. So you keep on learning and keep on introducing, even the ones you can't buy, you can't afford, you can rent, right? For me, I keep on, what I do is that after some time, I dispose the ones I have and add some money, either when I travel, to at least keep abreast with the new stuff and all that, so that, because at the end of the day, quality control matters a lot. Just like you said, the Gen Zs and millennials, they don't take nonsense.
Absolutely.
They don't just cook anything and pot before them and you expect them to eat. No, they don't. They reject. So you have to be on top of your game in terms of the total quality control of what your production,
right,
even with your storylines and all that, because the Gen Zs, that before you start, if you do a rubbish story before you start, they already told you your own story that is ending so and so. So you have to put a whole lot of creativity and research. You have to, we have to start putting some money in research. Just like Steve said, you don't just concept something within your mind. You don't even share ideas with people. You don't bring professionals to analyze even what you're thinking. So your mind is your food, and your food must be sweet. And no, it doesn't happen again. So you must do your research. You must consult some people. You must have to have a robust, even from scripting to the production, to the main production, pre-production to the production proper, to post-production, right? And so definitely, in as much as things, a whole lot of things in terms of money and other, their cost and other, film production is not a tea party.
Right.
You don't just come to the game. You must put some money down for you to make a very quality film. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Still talking about the audience, how we want to keep our audience watching. Mr. Da, please, can you speak to how you think we can make this new generation, this younger audience, right, because most of them have not. I can tell a lot of these younger audience they've not seen local TV before. But how can we make sure that this young audience watch our programs or watch local TV stations?
Okay, so we can keep them engaged in our content by producing, number one, we can produce evergreen content. Okay. These are contents that are, forever relevant. Content that people can relate with, storylines that people can relate with, that anybody can relate with, and it's still relevant anytime you watch it, even if it's 5 years or 6 years down the line. Then another one that would really, get them engaged is when you produce your content based on trending matters. Based on trending matters. So you have to keep your nose to the ground. You have to do your research. You know what is trending, both locally and globally. So that's how you keep the youths engaged, by producing things, that interest them. So there are always things, that is trending per time. So you have to do your research. You know what is happening. You have to be current, with information.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dai. Still in this trend, we're talking about the future for we TV content producers for Locust and all that. Mr. Steve Alayode, you're the General Secretary of MQN, the association that is housing all of us as content producers for local stations. What is the association doing to make sure that let me go personal, that we don't go broke, and that we're still relevant in the business, and that we continue to have people, producers doing being relevant in this sphere of things, knowing that, putting into consideration that the association is bringing an event called NEMSIA. I want to use the light of NEMSIA to speak into how we can do or put all this into perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Like you mentioned, not going broke is a major point in terms of, we're talking about evolving to survive. The word survival itself, it's about, trying to adapt. If you don't adapt, you get chipped out. So about 4 years ago, of course, we've been discussing the idea of no association, no business, grows and make ends meet ultimately without a market. And that's why about 4 years ago, we started what we call Nigerian Electronic Media Content Exhibitions and Award, NEMSIA. Started 4 years ago, but the idea is to be able to create a content market for Nigerian content, TV, radio, online, so that people all over Africa can come to say, yes, I have this children's content, I have this 52 episode. TV stations can approach us at your exhibition, a booth to say, can I get for the next calendar year, can I get 104 drama series that is driven towards youth-centric? We can do co-production. I have this, I have that, and what have you. So we started that we need to have a market. We have, by the grace of God, we have been opportune, go to Discorp, like Ijoma was mentioning, 2013, we were there with her at American Film Market, 2014. We travel all over, trying to create pavilion for Nigeria. But it's a good experience for us. We felt that there's need for us to now have our own market where people can travel all over and come and buy, exchange what we have, see the beauty of our content. And we have started 4 years ago, and it's growing gradually. So NEMSIA, like you mentioned, the fourth edition will be coming up 16th, 17th. Radisson Blue Hotel Ikeja is free, but registration is important. Content, market, conferences where we talk about trends and all that. We're discussing masterclass on AI in media production. How can AI, help in terms of, if you're a cinematographer, video editor, in what way, can you maximize this? Also, we're having a DG's roundtable, director generals within the framework of the broadcast, industry, advertising, media industry, NBC, Alcon. For the first time, we are bringing them to sit down, talk about regulation, talk about so many things they are doing, and people asking them questions. How can we better this industry? How can we move this industry forward? Then we are crowning it with an award, every year. We have seen that over the years, there's a lot of award, there's a lot of reward system for film, for music, but for people in the TV online space. And they've not been, celebrated the way they ought to be celebrated. And we created this 4 years ago, and it's been going for different contents, genres of TV content. There's a platform to be recognized, to be rewarded for your efforts on a yearly basis. And those are the components of NEMSIA. So please, www.nemsia.com. NEMSIA is spelled NEMCEA.com. Just go, register, be part of it. Ijoma Honor is one of the lead speakers for this year's content market and exhibition. I think that captures it.
Thank you very much, Salayode. Rounding off finally now, I think you've done your own. I don't know if you still come back to you. But Mr. Dada, one word for a sentence for upcoming producers who want to come into this TV space, this space of local TV production.
So one, you have to do your homework. You don't just jump into production because you have an idea in your head. You think you have a good story. You should do your homework. Number one, why not, take your time and go to a film school. It's a small investment for so much knowledge, and it will save you so much headache. You understand? Because I've seen people jump into production. At the end of the day, they jump out. They make mistakes. And sometimes this production, they don't even see the light of the day because they are stuck at the middle. So number one, equip yourself with the right knowledge and information. There are good film schools out there where you can learn the rudiments of the trade. Then two, do your research. Get, on the stories you want to churn out there. Don't just think because you have a good idea and this story seems interesting, you share it with your siblings and and your friends, and they think, oh, this idea is fantastic, and then you now put your whole capital behind it. So
thank you.
These are things you should
Just
do.
to speak to that quickly, you see that a lot of people, if you look at this hall now, people have paid money to come and listen to people speak, and you're investing in your future, in your business and all that. But a lot of us in our industry, we don't see it as important for us to go for events. We they won't talk for this, they talk, the same they won't talk. But you must try and invest in yourself, invest your time, your money, your energy, and resources in learning something new and all that. I want to round up from there now. If we have any question, we can take now. Thank you very much for.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, I have to.
okay. That was the same you asked that question.
Yes, please. Can somebody send the mic to her?
Thank you. So I wanted to ask about the local production. How do you go about getting airtime, getting ratings, and getting these media buying agencies to pay on time so you can pay the upfront with the local stations and still make your money despite them asking for as much as 40% discount when they start saying group booking discount and then agency commission and all of that. Right. So if you can just address that, because I have some content that I've put out there, Africa Magic, and it's just sitting there and I'm thinking, a guy here is saying that he's still making money from content of 20 years ago. Right. But what's the way to get on local TV practically without spending an arm, tooth, and a leg?
Thank you very much. Okay, please speak to this one quickly, because I thought we were going to talk about this when you...
Okay. If you are talking about going to local TV or maybe it's something to do with agencies and all that, the point is that agencies, sometimes they will tell you they pay within 60 days. Some will tell you 90 days. But that's not a guarantee that after 90 days or 60 days that you get your money. It's not guaranteed because there are other factors. They talk about non-compliance. They talk about so many things. So you have to reconcile. And to them, sometimes they will tell you that their clients have not paid them. There's nothing you can do about that. So you have to put your mind on the issue that sometimes 1 year, 6 months, but some clients might pay within the 60, 90 days window. That's one. Then for the TV stations, sometimes you can have a 50-50 kind of arrangement whereby you talk to them for partnership and all that. Which they will give you airtime, and when the adverts come, you and them we share the revenue, some. But some other TV stations,
You pay the full.
you have to pay the
All right.
full stuff. Thank you.
Madam, you need to join MCOAN. We have some of those advantages of talking to members of MCOAN. We have a relationship with TV stations where we can do business with them on barter arrangement. Somebody, the other question?
Okay, good evening. My name is Ahis. I run a digital platform. I'm a producer, and we are new. We play in an industry that is not too known to everybody. We play in the travel industry, and I will build contents around the travel industry. The more reason I'm asking is because the association is an association where we choose. We've just said that okay, we'll not belong. You know, my major concern is this. While we're discussing stuff, and somebody said they've made money from YouTube, and we're just coming to YouTube, so there's no money for us in YouTube. That's what the person just said. So that those of us have been making millions. For us, and we play on the digital platform, and this is a terrestrial platform we're looking into going. I want you to kindly drive. You made mention of agencies and this, and there's so many games being played by agencies. I have an experience doing something else, but we're coming into this terrestrial platform now. Outside Lagos, Abuja, which other states television terrestrial platform are viable? So we start looking at that before we even come. Was definitely going to join the association.
Right. Okay. So let me just take that one quickly. Can we see aside, but so that we can talk, because it's a long conversation. This was a very long conversation. But like I said, 18 stations across board. Kebbi, Yobe, Adamawa, Borno, and all that. So they are very viable. Yes, please, quickly, because we.
Thank you very much for this insightful session. I've learned so much, and I was very particular about attending this one. My question is, you've talked about the viability of Nigerian content on terrestrial platforms. How about instances where international filmmakers and content owners also want to exploit the possibilities of putting their content on these terrestrial platforms and free-to-air stations? What would you say would be the possibility of that happening? Because like Mr. Hayes has said, sometimes it looks like where the action is in Lagos and Abuja and other commercial capitals in Nigeria. So what would you say are the possibilities of this happening, where international content owners actually want to exploit, people who own series as well want to exploit our FTA stations? Thank you.
You want to take that? Okay. Right now, I'm not even running in Lagos. None of my contents in Lagos, right? None. I run outside Lagos, so there are spaces, there's viability for this. But you can talk to the General Secretary.
My Adamawa is very, very, very viable.
Borno?
Extremely viable. My Kano is extremely viable.
So that we can just end the session. We have been giving all the signal. Let's just meet after the service. Sorry, after the session, so that yes, after the service.
After the service.
Oh, I'm a pastor, so don't worry.
Pastor.
After the service, so that we'll not continue to delay people. But as many that are interested in our business model, TV, online radio, that want to join MCOAN, please see us immediately. I will take it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we please encourage them? Give them a hand of applause, and with them we'll sign up for today, actually. Pictures? Daniel? Okay, yes, please. Thank you so much for your patience. Today was extremely draggy, but I'm happy we've come to the end of today's summit. So for tomorrow, again, I just want to reiterate that the screen is not happening at the Palms anymore. It's happening at Landmark. Please don't go to the Palms because you won't see anybody there. But most importantly, if you want to continue the conversation with Chantel and Maskela, I think that is happening somewhere in Lekki. I'm not sure if this is the address here that I'm seeing, which is General Gomodia in Lekki. Who knows where that is? I think that's in Lekki Phase 1. Off Admiralty. Is that the same place? Okay. Is that where you've been having the CC Hub? Is that where you've been having all the other conversations? Even the one for Mr. Kene? Film House Landmark, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. So if you want to see the screening, so there are 2 events happening tomorrow. The screening will be happening at Landmark, that's Film House Landmark, yes? So if you want to see the screening, which will involve all the Accelerate guys, sorry, I beg, guys, now, let me just finish, let me round, I'm done. So the Accelerate movie, the 7 movies by the movie makers, you can see that thing tomorrow at Landmark. But if you want to continue with the discussion on the credibility and profitability and the one with Mascala, it will be at the Film Hub, CC Hub, yeah. CC Hub is off Admiralty. So you decide where you want to be actually. So if you want to come for both, when you finish, because the screening is happening the whole day, I think. I think it's till 6 or thereabout. No, I think it's 4. So sometimes it takes longer. Yeah, yeah. So you can just jump in if you have enough time. On that note, I'm signing out for today, and I want to say thank you so much for your patience and thank you so much for turning up. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good evening. Thank you.